You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I appreciate y'all being here. Good, about an hour and 10-minute run through this morning. Helmets and Spiders. Saturday night scrimmage was really good on one side of the football, not so good on the other. I thought the offense dominated the day and really flashed in the run game in particular. Offensive line has started to show more cohesion. Guys have elevated in certain spots I'm excited about, and we'll get into details on that, I'm sure, here in a few minutes.
And through them winning their injunction and entry into the portal, they're available to recruit. And so ourselves, like many places around the country, are recruiting them. And at the end of the day, you know, because of these rulings, they're either going to play for you or they're going to play somewhere else around the country. So we've made a decision to recruit them, like probably most people are.
There's always things you can pick, whether it's red area, goal line, third down, whatever, explosives, pass game, run game, gizmos, tricks, that kind of thing. So, every year it looks a little bit different, and I'm still going through that stuff. I'm always trying to refine it and stay on top of it. So if we need something, I've got it in my back pocket, that week, at least to present to the offensive staff table and see if it's got any value.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ.
Need a minute to clear your throat.
Let me clear my just give me a second here. Got a little Pop-Tart, a little too close to the little too close to the sun there.
What'd you roll with this morning?
Just the Pop-Tarts. We didn't stop by the gas station to get any food this morning.
What Pop-Tart? Brown sugar cinnamon?
Yeah, brown sugar cinnamon.
That's 1-1.
It's definitely up there. I kind of go through phases. So,
but you're not a fruit Pop-Tart guy, right?
Sometimes.
Do you ever do toaster strudel?
Not since I was a child.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't had toaster strudel since probably late 2000s. Probably my best. Do they still make them?
I don't know.
With like the you pour it on top, all that sort of
frosting.
Thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Oh,
they do.
You're loud.
I am.
We gotta turn you down. Just kidding.
I haven't had a toaster strudel probably since middle school, maybe high school.
I don't mind a toaster strudel.
No,
but also I'm not like seeking it out. I'd rather go Pop-Tart than toaster strudel.
They were good. The problem is they're not mobile, right? Like you have to,
you have
like to heat up the toaster strudel.
Yeah, to really enjoy it. Like,
do
you heat up a Pop-Tart?
No, I don't.
Never.
I mean, not on purpose, but I'm not mad about it when you do.
Fair.
Like, because I'm usually in this situation where I'm like grabbing it, I'm leaving.
You ever leave like food on the hood of your car, just not the hood, but like the dash to warm it up?
I have left Pop-Tarts in the car before, and they were really good.
Oh yeah, a little toasty.
Really?
Oh yeah, pretty good.
I was not mad about it at all. It was
so what's your top warm Pop-Tart then? Does it change?
It's probably s'mores.
Right, it has to be s'mores.
The s'mores
right?
is really good.
I think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I will say though, the fruit ones are not bad warm.
I see your hate for the fruit ones is a little bit
I don't
much.
hate the fruit ones. I like the fruit ones.
Oh, is it Rico? Rico doesn't like the fruit ones?
Probably.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That add up. Yeah.
He's very prejudiced about
legitimately the strawberry one is very good.
No,
I'm not a wild berry guy. I'm not going to do wild berry.
I like strawberry and cherry.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my go-tos. The cherry, I wish you could find in like I don't know what's going on with my voice. The cherry I wish you could find in like the big packs instead of just like the multi-pack.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I usually go strawberry.
Yeah, Did you just say I don't like fruit Pop-Tarts?
Didn't you tell me you don't like fruit Pop-Tarts?
No, I love the fruit Pop-Tarts. Wild berry is my favorite Pop-Tart of all time.
Man, who am I thinking of that doesn't like the fruit? Wait, your favorite is wild berry Pop-Tarts? And you're a Pop-Tart, you're like the Pop-Tart guy.
Sure, why not? I would say that Robbie's more of the Pop-Tart guy, considering he uses it to keep himself alive.
You have a polo. You have a
socks.
T-shirt. You got Pop-Tart everything. What are you talking about?
I'm a Pop-Tart bowl guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
We're going to make a distinction between Pop-Tart bowl guy and Pop-Tart guy.
Okay.
I will say,
who's more likely to wear the Pop-Tart outfit? Probably Rico.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. He's a Pop-Tart furry, I think. Like whatever version of that is.
That's not nice. Don't do that.
I think he would wear the costume is what I mean.
Would you wear the costume,
I
Rico?
would, but I would wear the costume, but not in like a weird way. I'd wear it to be like the mascot.
As his children scream in the background.
Hey, take the Pop-Tart off. Come on. Knock it off.
Best Pop-Tart flavor of all time, Fruit Loop.
Whoa.
They were.
I don't think I've ever had that.
There was a specialty flavor.
Naturally.
It was incredible.
The specialty flavors sometimes are super hit or miss.
They are. That one was a hit. I would pay an ungodly sum of money to get Fruit Loop Pop-Tarts back.
Wouldn't you be disappointed if it wasn't as good as you remember it being, though?
I would only.
When did it come out?
A couple years ago. It's recent. It's relatively. This wasn't like when I was
So that means it'll probably come back.
I hope so. I've been waiting for the orange slice Pop-Tart to come back for.
That sounds disgusting.
It was so good.
No, gross, nasty.
Really
no way.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's like the people who eat like lemon tarts. Oh, nasty.
I don't know what a lemon tart is.
It's like a little cup.
Oh, like a pastry.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about.
Oh, sorry, I'm not talking Pop-Tarts anymore.
Pop-Tarts or candy, and I was like, I
My
don't
bad.
know what that is. I was like, is that like a lemon head?
Oh, lemon heads are gross too. Listen,
They're a little too
if they're
lemony.
available, I'll have one, but I'm not buying them myself.
I like citrus flavors though.
Yeah.
I'm a big citrus flavor guy.
Jolly Rancher guy?
No. No.
You like citrus?
Most of those aren't citrus. You have like green apple, that's not citrus. You have all the like berry flavors, that's not citrus. I basically
guess you're
just
right.
mean lemon, lime, and orange. Citrus.
That's fair. Yeah, citruses.
Yeah.
I'm more of a lime guy myself.
Lime's pretty good. Depends on what it is.
I do like a lime. A lime Skittle might be top of the keychain.
I'm like one of the only people on the planet that likes yellow and orange Starburst better than the pink.
Listen, yellow Starburst rock.
Dude, yellow Starburst are so
good. They're really good. Pink Starbursts are obviously really good.
They're good, but they are
I think
overrated.
orange Starburst might be my least favorite
Oh,
of the Starbursts.
I love an orange Starburst. Yellow's the best one.
I think I'd go red, yellow, pink, orange. Am I missing some in there? I know that they've got like the wild Hawaiian flavors and stuff like that. I don't like those.
We're not doing
that. Same with the wild berry Skittles. That's too much. I'm not doing that.
No, I do love regular Skittles.
Yeah,
though.
my Skittle rankings go sour Skittles, regular Skittles, and then I don't touch anything else after that.
I only want regular Skittles.
And those new blasted, like you see how candy's like blasted now or whatever.
Oh,
what do they call it?
It's like freeze dried.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
they're pretty tasty.
Brandon, are you a freeze dried candy guy?
No, I'm not. I don't like those.
They're pretty good.
Brandon, do you do a candy when you go to a movie theater?
It's usually peanut M&Ms or peanut butter M&Ms is usually my go-to.
Okay. See,
peanut M&Ms are superior.
To me, peanut butter M&Ms are for goobers, but I understand that they're one of the like S tier candies for a lot of people. I do not like peanut butter that much.
Goobers, like as in people who are goobers, or goobers as in the candy?
No, goobers is like the jar of peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, those. See, in my family, we have a distinction that someone in each like familial relationship is the peanut butter, and the other person is the jelly. This has been discussed very often. My father is the jelly, meaning that he's like super fun and like he does all this like fun activities, all this stuff. My mother is the peanut butter. In my relationship, my future wife is the peanut butter.
I was like, you're definitely the jelly.
I'm the jelly. But then, as you guys know, I do a lot of the home activities and everything. So then that becomes my peanut butter. She is the jelly in that situation because she doesn't do a whole lot. So our family has deemed us goobers, like the jar with like the mixture. And I hate that. That is disgusting. If people are walking around, if I see a jar of goober in somebody's shopping cart when I'm going around, I'm automatically judging them.
Rico,
there's no way that they're
like that. Like,
yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Can we get
Shane.
a picture of goobers up here just so for the people?
For the podcast listeners?
Yeah, for the podcast listeners.
For the podcast listeners, can we get a jar of goober up there?
Yeah, can we get a...
The worst type of goober is not even the jar. It's actually the squeeze bottle.
Oh, they have a squeeze
I
bottle
have seen the squeeze
goobers?
bottle of goober. That's disgusting.
Good Lord.
I imagine it has two nozzles that it can apply at the same time. And also, if you're building a peanut butter and jelly sandwich...
Like 2 nozzles, 1 sandwich, or what?
Ooh, I don't like that.
I'm just asking how it works.
Nope, you meant... I know what you meant.
No, I was asking how it worked. What are you talking about?
No. See, look at that thing.
That does look gross.
Also, am I wrong in saying that that's too much jelly?
No.
That's too much jelly.
You are wrong. That's not enough jelly.
And also, how do you even mix that? How do you make that into something you want?
That's my real question here.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Close this door. I think we're getting some echo that's coming through.
Yeah, a little feedback there. I will say the logistics of that don't make any sense.
No.
That's not enough jelly.
Do people just like mix it all together? Because that's also gross.
You put it in a blender.
I'm putting
the issue I have with that is the peanut butter and jelly need to be separated. Jelly needs to be in the fridge. Peanut butter needs to be in a cabinet.
Also accurate. I don't want cold peanut butter.
Yeah, that's true. I don't need cold peanut butter either.
And it's impossible to spread.
Yeah. So are people putting goober in the fridge?
You have to, right? You can't leave the jelly unrefrigerated.
Can you leave jelly unrefrigerated?
I don't.
You might be able to. Okay, now I gotta look this up.
I mean, it depends on the jelly.
I think some people probably do. It's like a jam situation. Some people
Todd
keep their
says-
jams.
Todd says must be jelly because jam don't shake like that.
That's great. Unopened store-bought jelly does not need to be refrigerated, but open standard jelly lasts much longer and stays fresher in the fridge. Okay, so basically, it says, like most things, if you open it, put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
I don't know many people that put jelly not in the fridge.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's
Now, I will say this. I've gotten in trouble with this before at my friends' houses back home.
back in the day.
People who are putting maple syrup in their fridge, those are weirdos. We got to revoke their voting rights.
So
That's wrong.
actual maple syrup,
Real maple syrup,
you're
yes.
supposed to put in the fridge because it doesn't have the preservatives. But if it's like the pancake
Yeah.
sauce,
But Uncle Jeremiah, no.
you put that stuff in the
Nope.
in the pantry.
And I know it's Aunt Jemima.
Uncle
Brandon.
Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Why Jeremiah?
Well, because it's Aunt Jemima.
And
That's just the name of the brand. Except it's not Aunt Jemima now, isn't it? What is it now?
I think it is.
Is
They-
it still Aunt Jemima?
I think they tried to cancel that, and they're like, no, we're going to keep Aunt Jemima around.
Yeah.
Are you Aunt Jemima or Mrs. Buttersworth guy?
Ooh.
This is the hard hitting stuff. People.
I
need to
think
know.
I am Miss Butterworth, personally.
I am too, actually.
She's thick. You gotta be careful about that. I'm walking up and down that maple syrup aisle going,
You're like, that's some pancake sauce.
Did you call it pancake sauce?
That's what it's technically called when it is not officially syrup.
No.
Yeah,
Is it really?
It is.
Pancake
So,
sauce.
like, you know how
What if
like,
I'm using it on waffles?
I think it's still called pancake sauce. I think it's has to be naturally
I mean, look at her. Come on. Dummy.
that girl dick.
Dummy.
That's a
That
really
mug
weird
syrup
hear me
around
out.
Pancake.
That I didn't say hear me out. I did not say that.
That mug thick.
This Butterworth, she thick.
It's a shout out to Nick Baugh there.
No, I got it.
And
I-
just for the podcast listeners. I
Yeah,
was
for
trying to
the
explain.
double podcast listeners.
Yeah, for
How much syrup do you have in your house there, bud?
All sugar free. Oh, I do the Aldi version because it's super cheap. You can get it for like 89 cents.
No, I think when it's not naturally like actually extracted
Mhm.
from trees, you can't call it syrup. It's
Oh,
sort
so
of
you
a
gotta-
champagne sparkling wine thing
Oh,
there.
okay. Yeah.
And so I think it is literally called pancake sauce.
The
Not
more you
to-
know.
Not to syrup my own pancake.
Not to glaze my own donut. People forget.
Not to flip my own pancake. TK, you haven't missed anything. I promise.
Literally nothing has happened.
I will say that does remind me though. We are going to do the quarterback draft on Friday with Tim Verghese,
Boom.
and we are going to select 4. You heard me right.
4.
Discord members to be a part of the draft. So if you want to be a part of the draft or have a chance to be a part of the draft, go join the Discord. And then we will randomly select 4 people, but you have to be available 8:00 Friday morning to be part of the show because we're doing this live. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
So keep that in mind as well. We've already got a bunch of people that have responded in the Discord that they want to be involved
Mhm.
and that they are available to be involved at the time as well. So we will do that. And we're also going to continue our quarterback tier system,
That's right.
which weirdly worked pretty well again for
Oh, yeah.
the SEC
hmm
in our 6 categories.
Did you send him to Rico?
I did send him to
Whoa.
Rico.
That means he's working.
Well, maybe.
Anything's possible.
It means he should be working, but who knows?
Do we have time to get to it today?
Well, we're going to get to it today.
Okay.
Oh, we'll get to it.
All right. Jeez.
Don't tempt me. We'll get to it.
My bad.
Uh,
We're going to hold Shane in contempt. We're
Yeah,
gonna hold him hostage here.
We'll stay here all day. You can only keep him until 4. We will stay here until 4.
Oh, what happens at 4?
What do you mean?
You want to go home?
No, that's a Mean Girls reference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
When they're in the assembly.
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
He's like,
Mhm.
I will keep you here all day. And she's like, we have to let him go at 4. I will keep you here until 4. I use that a lot. I don't know. Nobody gets it. It's
I
fine.
thought it was like an office rule and we couldn't stay here past 4 or something.
That's not true. Kyle would have been fired years ago.
That is true.
Um,
Kyle's here a long time.
Coming up on the show, we do have Stephen Means from Cleveland.com as we continue our Nebraska schedule preview. This is the final week because we have games next week.
That is true. Real games.
We have real games.
Ohio named a starting quarterback. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Mhm.
We'll talk to Stephen
It's a big
Means
deal.
from Cleveland.com. Maybe we'll slip in a couple of Deshaun Watson questions there as well. 9 o'clock, we got Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. He's from Cleveland.com. What do you want me to do? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah. Once in a lifetime, right?
And then at 9:30, we will have Gary Dolphin, voice of Iowa football, to wrap up the schedule preview for Nebraska. That's the lineup.
Wow.
Before 7:30.
That's got to be the earliest lineup you've done.
Pretty close. Every once in a while.
There was that one time that you opened the show with the lineup.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
That's because DB was getting mad at me about not doing the lineup, so I did it immediately.
What's to be mad about?
Just to spite him.
What's to be mad about? It's in the description.
Yeah.
People can scroll.
It'll be fine. You're on the line. You're on the line. You can figure it out. You know.
That's what Shane said. He said the World Wide Web was working this morning, which is good.
We love it when the World Wide Web is working.
It's very nice.
It makes our show much easier to exist.
Yeah, I agree. I second.
Headley says, "How's Mike Loxley doing this morning?"
I heard
we haven't had an attack yet.
That is fair. Yes. Listen, we need to get like a technical difficulty screen that is just Mike Loxley. That would be very funny. We're under attack from Mike Loxley.
Mike Loxley has hacked the show.
The only problem is that when we're having technical difficulties, we can't put up the technical difficulty screen.
No screen we can put up.
I wonder if there's a way that we would be able to do that, that if everything just gets dumped from the show, that we can just throw that up there. There's got to be a way. We'll figure it out.
You would think so.
We'll figure it out.
Life finds a way.
Life has always found a way.
Heath asks, am I hitting up any high school ball this week? Yes, I will be at Westside Creighton Prep on Thursday.
Whoa. And then Friday.
And then on Friday, of course, I'll be at Miller South, Miller North.
You doing sideline?
Probably. I don't want to.
Or did you rent a booth?
We got a suite up there. No.
They should. Listen, of all years, this was the year to put suites in Buell.
If I can't make the Hall of Fame, I would accept having the Ravi Lulla suites.
That would be pretty cool.
At Buell Stadium.
What are you serving in your suite at Buell?
Well, listen,
you can't do alcohol.
No, I'm a very traditional concession stand food guy, so we will just have hot dogs.
Okay.
I love stadium nachos, just the yellow circle chips with the nacho cheese.
Very good.
We'll definitely have that. We'll have popcorn, obviously.
Okay.
You know how much I love popcorn. Although movie theater popcorn is a different breed, but it's fine.
So you're not doing movie theater popcorn? It's your suite. It's named after you. You can literally do anything.
I could put in the butter fountains.
That would rock. Do some butter fountains.
That would rock. I like a soft pretzel. We'll have a soft pretzel in
Works
there.
with your butter fountain.
It does.
Could you imagine just drenching your
a butter fountain fondue? Just
oh my god, that's gluttonous at the highest degree.
It'd be incredible.
That's almost too much butter.
Not to butter my own muffin.
Where's these all coming from?
And then, what's another like classic stadium food?
You're not doing like pizza slice, or you're not no candy options.
Oh, we could do some candy. We could do some candy options. I will say,
see, if I was in a suite, I would do
pizza slices. Don't really hit for me at games. I'll do them if I have to.
That's interesting.
But
is that a hot take?
That's not really my. I don't know. I don't feel like they hold up well.
I am never, if I'm in the stands of the game, I don't like doing novelty foods. And I know this maybe goes against the memorial standard. Oh, you know, we've got these stadium the stadium barbecue nachos or the brisket tacos.
No, that's what I mean.
Stuff.
I like the standard fare.
I'm just going to stick to the GBR classics. That's what I'm about. Give me a box of popcorn. I do like the bag of popcorn overrules box of popcorn every day. Every day.
What do you mean bag?
If I get it in a brown sack,
okay,
and I can see like a little bit of
the grease.
I like the grease. I like to see it like it's a little bit like it's got you can see the salt and stuff on it when it comes in a box, and you know it's just it's going to be bland. It's not going to be fresh.
So I do feel like typically, this is a general statement, I do feel like typically the boxes are
100%.
Like they do that before the game.
Yeah. Whereas
the bags are usually fresh.
That's what I like.
That's fair.
I also, if you go to a smaller school, like if you're this will happen pretty much anywhere. But if you go to a concession stand that really digs it, and it's like the nuclear yellow popcorn, that's real good stuff.
100%.
Then you also know you're going to cut your mouth on some salt. They're going to oversalt that thing.
Juan asked me, would there be condiments for non-psychos? Yes, I'll accommodate all the other people.
You should have an actively wet section and a dry section of food.
Yes, actively wet food. Purposely dry food,
butter fountain, middle,
not purposely dry, but like juicy, because a good hot dog's gonna be juicy, right? Although the nachos would then go in the.
I want it snappy.
Bang! I don't really like a snap.
You don't like a snap on a dog?
No.
Nah. What about a brat? Like a snap on a brat? Whoa!
I'm not a snap guy.
Your food takes are just wild. Sometimes I don't know you.
I'm just saying. Ken says no such thing as oversalted popcorn. Rowdy says
I agree.
Keeping it wet. There's a difference between juicy and wet. I want to make that very clear. That's 100% accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Sadi says if Ravi had a suite at Buell, I'd personally vandalize it every chance I got. Go Pats.
Could you imagine?
He's a Millard South guy.
I was gonna say the Millard West, Millard South game. They were just trashing the Ravi Lulla suite.
I'd camp out there to keep it safe. It'd be like a purge situation.
That actually would be the best time where you could Brittany Mahomes that thing where you're just like pouring champagne over everybody else. You're like, oh, you losers, suck it, nerds. Millard North,
roasting.
You just have like the blue light that's like emanating from your suite the entirety of the game.
Yeah, I'll hire security. It's fine. I know a couple guys.
Turning the sprinklers on halfway through. Oh, who did that?
Like, oh no, what happened?
Very fun.
Dude,
how many non-Millard North games of Millard schools have you went to? Like how many Millard South Millard?
I've been to a lot of Millard South games the last couple years.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a lot of Millard West, but they haven't been like quality wise. They haven't been in the same category.
Baseball back. I mean, not too long ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been. Oh, you're talking not just football?
Yeah, just like in general.
Oh,
well, I guess you don't go to a whole lot of other.
Basketball.
Yeah.
I've gone to a ton of high school basketball games of most of the teams in the city, just from scouting and stuff when I was coaching.
Oh, so, that makes sense. Yeah.
That is just an astronomical number for every team in the.
Do you think there's a school that you haven't seen in Omaha?
A couple of the new ones, since some of the ones that have popped up.
Buena Vista,
Westview. I don't think I've seen an Elkhorn North basketball game because I think they popped up after I was done coaching.
I'm going there today for volleyball.
I've seen them play football.
Yeah, Gretna East.
I haven't seen Gretna East play basketball again. I've seen them play football. So yeah, the new schools, the schools that have popped up basically since COVID, because that was the last year I coached.
Okay.
I haven't seen play basketball, but anybody that existed before that, I have.
Did you ever go to Omaha Christian?
I have been to Omaha Christian. I've coached at Omaha Christian.
I didn't even know that was a school. I just thought that was some military academy or something like that.
It might be. It's hard to tell. It's really.
I just see their office building like school that's right off of the interstate. I'm like, what is that?
So there's a I think it's Cornerstone Christian.
Oh yes, yeah.
That I think they're out of South Roads Mall in Bellevue.
Oh really?
Like the old South. I think that's where their school is now. Listen, you got to find a place,
Listen, wherever it takes, whatever it takes.
Get in
wherever, whenever. Yeah.
Shout out to I believe he's their head principal, John Hood. I used to work with him back at the Grace University days.
That's a great name. Great linebacker name, John Hood.
Yeah, he's not a linebacker. He's like a cross country runner.
Ah, that's tough.
Yeah, he's built like a slightly shorter Brandon. Lean.
Yeah.
A little lanky.
It'd be terrible if your like kicker or punter had a terrific football name,
right? Yeah,
you can't have that.
Like, imagine you remember. I'm trying to. I believe there's a linebacker. I think he was for Notre Dame, named Rocky Kalmus.
That rocks.
But imagine imagine if he was a kicker,
or if his name was like Blatzwitz or someone. A military name. He's just your punter. Here's Hunter Blatzwitz,
or like AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
great football,
great linebacker name.
What if he's a punter?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've had Martin Gramatica, great kicker name.
Oh, 100%.
Great kicker name.
You hear that name, you say kicker.
Yeah, you're first I'm like soccer player, and they're like kicker, and I was like, same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nailed it.
100%.
Got it. But
obviously the easiest one in the world is Tommy Armstrong playing quarterback.
Oh, I mean, just serendipitous.
Yeah.
Had to be.
I do miss Faux Pelini tweeting that out every Saturday. How is he not up for the Heisman? His name is literally Armstrong.
Caleb says, I'll concede no snap for dogs, but no snap on a brat is criminal. So to be fair, I don't love brats. I basically just want hot dogs.
Some people are anti-brat in a bun.
So I just want the brat to be as close to a hot dog as possible.
You're never going to get that.
I know. That's why I want it to be no snap, though. It's like I'm just not that interested in brats. Yeah. I want hot dogs.
Yeah. I came from a brat household where it wasn't treated as in the hot dog family. It was treated more as its own.
No, it's its own
main
thing.
Dish. Yeah, but I didn't like it like that. I wanted it to be a part of the hot dog family.
But when people kind of make them interchangeable, I was like, no, these are different. Like I'm not interested in that.
I like eating them the exact same way.
Have you guys had brat burgers?
I have. Those are pretty good.
What is a brat burger?
Basically, they take brat meat.
Wait, is this a thing from Broncos that you did?
No.
Oh, okay.
Basically, they take up they take the meat and then from a brat, they grind it up and make it into a patty.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't stay in its tube shape. It just becomes a patty.
No, you get them at Hy-Vee.
It's
Pretty
more like
cheap.
then it's like a breakfast sausage almost.
Kind of.
No.
It seems that way.
Stylistically, yes. Flavor-wise, no.
Yeah. Okay.
I had when I went to Q39 in Kansas City a couple weeks ago on the way back from St. Louis.
Mhm.
And
Where you got second place? Yeah. Do you just want to hit all those? Oh no, you got.
I
what'd
didn't
you
get second
Yeah.
place in that one. That one
Oh,
was
sorry.
that
Sorry
one
to bring that up.
It's all right. It just didn't go as well as I wanted.
No medals from that time.
No medals. No hardware from that one. Just the friends we made along the way.
The
But
medal was in my art.
from the bottom of my heart. I had a sandwich, and one of the elements of the sandwich was basically it was a jalapeno sausage patty.
Okay.
But it used to be the sausage in the
Was that the main protein that was in the sandwich?
So it was that. It was pork belly.
Whoa.
And
this is Q39. Okay.
I believe brisket was the third.
For some reason, I thought we were talking about Quick Trip. I was like, that just can't be right.
No.
What Quick Trip is serving this? Quick Trip sometimes, though.
How is that profitable for Quick Trip?
How are they making this? Sometimes Quick Trip has some good stuff, though. Their sausage, egg, biscuit sandwich, when I'm in a pinch,
listen,
it's dry, it's messy, it's crumbly, but it's good. I'll have it.
Yeah, I prefer the pizza because it's not as, I feel like it doesn't dry out as bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the other stuff, it dries out a little bit.
Their breakfast pizza, I think they do gravy as the base, which is smart.
They do. Yeah.
Very smart.
Although I think I do prefer the cheese sauce from Casey's.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
But I
think
the
it's
innovation.
I think it's just a little bit of how I feel that day. If I had to pick one for the rest of my life, I'd probably go cheese.
Yeah.
This is more fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I feel like it's a little lighter. Gravy as your sauce is heavy.
Is it?
Gravy as your sauce.
That's tough.
At 6:30 in the morning is pretty heavy.
Ooh.
Ken says we need an all best name Husker team draft. 0 accomplishments on the metric, just names.
Just names.
I'm here for that. That seems fun.
That'd be interesting. See, we have these great off-season activities, but now that we're actually getting closer and closer to the season, do you realize we barely talked any Huskers yesterday?
Rico, write down a Husker name draft.
Write that down.
That's your job now, Rico, is to remember stuff that the
Rico, do what I did and put it as a calendar reminder, but for a later date, that becomes a problem for us because I put the caller listener commenter draft.
Oh yeah.
The Friday that we went off for a week. And I went, well, guess
Husker
we're not doing
name
it.
drops October 31st.
No, that's the middle.
That's a game
That's
day.
also a Saturday.
Ding dong.
I don't know. I'm just putting.
Good Lord.
This guy's in a seventh circle of hell. He's trying to make it graphic and all of his kids are yelling at him and you're yelling at him.
I just need him to lock in a little bit.
A little bit.
If he actually came to work, he wouldn't have this problem.
Well, he's working 3 jobs right now.
Well,
he's producing, dadding, and I don't know what the last one is.
I'm pretty sure
He's probably chef. He's probably making his own.
I'm pretty sure he's only doing one of those. It's the dadding. Not sure he's doing anything else right now.
It doesn't sound like he's doing too good at it right now either.
They're screaming a lot.
The kids are dominating that household. The Rico Enrique Clary household, as we notably found out yesterday.
Wrecked.
That's tough.
I was
sorry to hear that,
doing
Rico.
Very little dadding. Rachel was doing a lot of momming. She was getting them ready to get out the door.
And he's producing. Don't worry, honey. I'm right here.
I'm working.
I'm making graphics for Ravi. All right. Leave me alone.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's all right.
I sent him my list at like 7:01 this morning.
That's tough. Come on. I sent mine at 6:13.
He's got 31 minutes to get to it.
What time did I send it? Oh, we're getting into it at 8?
8 o'clock.
Okay. I sent it at 6:26. So he says plenty of time.
Yeah.
So what are we doing today? It's the SEC quarterback tier
We are
list.
doing the SEC quarterback tiers.
Based off of the Big Ten tiers that we made.
Yeah, based on the categories we made on the fly, including Iowa quarterbacks, still a category
Yep.
for the rest of the conferences.
I don't know if are we doing this for each conference?
Yeah.
No.
We'll
I don't want to do ACC.
We'll do ACC and Big 12.
I feel I have a strong feeling there's a lot of Iowa quarterback in the ACC.
Only one way to know.
Yep. You're actually not wrong. You're not wrong. Not wrong.
Only one way to know.
Thank God that they named some of those starting quarterbacks literally yesterday.
Yes.
In the SEC, or else we would have had a little bit of tougher time.
Yeah, we got KJ Jackson at Arkansas. We got is it Faison or Faison? Faison Brandon at Tennessee, the 5-star
Someone will
freshman.
yell at us, call us a bum.
It's Faison.
Bum.
Like Donald, the actor.
Oh, Donald Bum?
No, Donald Faison.
Donald Faison. Who's Donald Faison?
Oh, you know who Donald Faison is.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Wait,
know.
can I look this up?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not that kind of actor.
Well, that's what I was
It's
curious
not
about.
Rico's favorite actor.
Oh, yes, I do.
See?
This guy rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy rocks.
P.D. Jones,
Mhm.
running back. The running back.
Only 9 episodes in the new season, which was so dumb.
Yeah,
Did you end up watching that?
I did, and I was mad that it was just like, oh, we're done now.
It ends so abruptly.
Yeah,
I could have sworn that there was more coming, and no, they just
did this get
ended it.
canceled? What
Yeah,
happened?
that was so weird. Who does 9 episodes for a season that only has 20-minute shows?
For the podcast listeners, what show are you talking about?
Scrubs. My bad. Sorry, the new season of Scrubs.
Yeah,
It's
and
on me.
who does Donald Faison play?
Turk.
There you go.
Yeah, see? You
All
got me.
Just for the podcast listeners.
Wait, you didn't think that I would remember a character's name?
No, I was making sure that the podcast listeners knew.
Felt like a test. Felt like you were quizzing me.
I would never.
You were constantly quizzing me.
Who win?
At least I'm not DB just like being like, do you remember what I said 3 months ago? What did I say? And then you just have to randomly guess.
Just pick something out of a hat.
And the best is when you guess and he goes, no. He would tell you exactly what he said.
The best would be when I would get it right, and then he'd be mad that I got it right.
Do you remember what I said about the Michigan third string quarterback 2 weeks ago? That he was going to be bad? That he...
I'm going to keep it a buck. Yes.
Where's the foul? I've been watching the quarterback show
Mhm.
on Netflix. I just finished the season that was Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins and those guys.
The new one's got Baker, right?
Yeah, there's too many quarterbacks.
How many do we have?
4. Baker, Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, and who's last? Oh, Joe Flacco. There's too much going on. And the only one you actually care about is Baker Mayfield because he actually has like interesting stories.
Yeah, because he has a personality.
Yeah. And then Joe Flacco's is we're in the Browns part of it so far before he gets moved to the Bengals. And his is boring as hell. Because all it is just like, yeah, I have kids. Yeah, I've kind of been around the block. And also I'm bad at playing quarterback right now. Like that's the entirety of his thing. And then Jaden Daniels, he gets hurt right away. So then it's just him recovering and trying not to complain about it. And then Cam Ward is just highlighting all the plays that he makes every time that they lose. It's very fun. So it's a blast so far.
I love that. It's like, hey, we might be bad, but look, wasn't that cool?
Mhm.
Wasn't that pretty cool?
The show, and then the receiver, and they had all the other stuff. Like the show is fun. I don't mind it. It's great, like background. But the first season was incredible.
First season was really good.
season was really fun.
Yeah.
It helps when you have Patrick Mahomes and he goes through the injury and then has the dramatic Super Bowl win, all that other stuff.
Terrific.
But after that, not so much. And they also had the interesting. I think they had
Kirk Cousins that season.
Yeah, and I think it was also Marcus Mariota when he had that weird benching in Atlanta
And like left the team.
Yeah. So very intriguing first season, but then I didn't mind the second season. The Jared Goff stuff was super interesting. The Kirk Cousins again when they had him kind of moving around from the Atlanta move, and then him getting benched for Penix and all the other stuff that happened in between. Like, all that was very intriguing to me, but maybe not so much anymore. I'd actually like to see. Do you know which quarterback I'd actually like to see on there?
Who?
I kind of want to see Dak.
Oh, I don't know that he's interesting.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know. He comes off as very just sort of. I mean, he's not like a bad guy. He just does not seem interesting to me at all.
I want to know how he handles his day to day, not just being I'm a Cowboys quarterback sort of thing, but every time we get a peek into Dak's life, I find him incredibly just a raw human, and he's always trying to do good, but he doesn't get perceived that way.
I just want to see him like dog cuss Jerry Jones after he says something stupid.
That
just be like,
why are you making my life so difficult?
Like, you gotta
stop that.
You gotta be kidding me, man. Like,
stop doing that.
Talking. You are ancient. You don't need to be. You're a billionaire.
Why do you have your own radio show?
Why are you going on the radio?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Knock it off.
Really, no reason to do that.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know. Dak doesn't really interest me. I'm trying to think of. Baker's a good one to have in there. Baker's interesting.
You do Baker again? Because you obviously haven't watched.
I haven't watched the new season yet,
and you're not getting to it now because we've got football season coming up. So.
Yeah, I kind of got the gist of it in season 1, and I was like, I think I'm good. There was a lot more Kirk Cousins than I needed in my life. I was like, this is fine. I don't need to. Like, I get it. You're a good dad. That's terrific. I'm good. I don't need any more of this. I'm sort of curious. I mean, honestly, from just a drama standpoint,
Bryce Young.
Like Aaron Rodgers would be fascinating.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers would be good. But we already had his own Netflix documentary. We don't need to do that. Yeah, he got the Enigma thing when he did all the ayahuasca.
Yeah, never mind.
So actually, I am one with my chakras or whatever. I don't know.
He's a big chakra guy.
Yeah.
You know this. Matt Stafford might be interesting.
Matt Stafford would be fun, especially with the Ty Simpson.
Yeah, like the late stage
Mhm.
career. I find that part kind of interesting. Like he's still expected to lead them to a Super Bowl, but
I'd
they're
like to know
also sort of actively preparing for his
Yeah.
replacement.
Man, I'd love to see all the behind the scenes of the Ty Simpson draft, the Myles Garrett trade.
Yeah.
And just, I want to know what his recovery is like, just at his age, how much time he has to balance between preparation and recovery. If that takes more time now, especially because he's 30. How old is Matt Stafford? I want to say he's 38 off the top of my head.
I believe he was in the 2008 draft. He's got to be pretty close to 38. I think he's about my age, 38, 39.
38 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
2008, number one overall pick in 2008.
Okay, so if
draft,
I picked
believe.
Dak, you're picking Stafford?
I would pick Stafford.
Brandon, do you have a pick?
I'd probably just do Kyler just because of this year with the quarterback battle.
What about 9?
Kyler is interesting.
Why don't you watch JJ? You don't want to know the life of the third string?
No, JJ is kind of going down the Aaron Rodgers path where his profile picture is just turtles in the ocean. So he's kind of trying to do that, channeling good energy thing.
What do you mean? What do you mean that his profile picture is turtles in the ocean?
On Instagram,
Is
it is turtles in the
literally
ocean. I'm
turtles in the
fairly
ocean?
positive.
Who changes
turtles.
Who changes their Instagram profile picture? That's crazy.
Obviously, my third string quarterback does.
Wow. I'm glad. How did this come to your attention? Did you notice this first, or was this broken to you?
It like popped up on like my stories, and
Mhm.
he was posting about something, and I was like, "Who just has turtles as their profile picture?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my quarterback at the time."
JJ McCarthy.
To help out, it's still a football picture on Twitter, although he has not tweeted since May 3rd.
Has he retweeted anything?
He hasn't replied.
Dang.
He hasn't retweeted. He's gone radio silence on Twitter, it appears.
Wow.
But he
Good for
does
him.
have a link to jjforthekids.org. That appears to be some sort of organization.
There we go. At least he's a good dude.
Good. Well, we don't know.
So
that.
you would go Kyler. Are you're probably going Mandalorian then, Shane?
Why not?
That's fair. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Fernando
Absolutely.
Mendoza. What do you think about Fernando Mendoza?
I don't think he's going to play very much his first year. If
I
they're
mean, if
smart.
we're going like pure drama, just go to Cleveland.
Then it would just be
Geno Smith in New York.
ooh.
You're disgusting.
Why? Because you want to see how he celebrated the Knicks championship? Is that why?
Yeah, totally. Actually, I think I would go with New York Giants just because I want to see all that craziness and
Do you
how
know
many
who the-
trips to the blue tent he can take.
Do you know who the right answer probably is in terms of actually just a high drama quarterback?
Who?
That will, I think that we'll probably want to know how this season unfolded from behind the scenes. It's probably CJ Stroud.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know that there's
He's
enough.
high drama on the football field.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, he's not. I don't know how interesting he is in general in his life.
Yeah,
but
I would
from a football standpoint.
I would assume he's pretty boring, but you think at some point there's going to be a lot of circling vultures when it comes to that quarterback conversation, right? I'd like to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I would take that. CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud would be an interesting
I
one
do
to watch.
wonder at some point.
Oh, yep, the Turtles.
I like turtles.
Wait, is his name just 9? Is that real? He just put 9? That's hilarious.
Yeah, he did do that.
Good for him.
I didn't notice that.
9.
What if he ends up getting traded and has to change his number? Like, that's going to be a bummer.
Ooh, that's tough.
You know what I mean?
What if he gets traded to Carolina? He can't have 9. That's Bryce Young.
Yeah, I like, hey, we've got a franchise legend here as 9.
That was mean. He didn't.
I
say
was being serious. He let him do it.
Bryce Young is probably our 3rd best quarterback in our franchise history. It's tough.
Jake Delhomme.
Cam, Jake Delhomme.
I was gonna
Probably
get
Bryce
to
Young.
Cam.
No, you can't say Jake Delhomme first.
He also went to a Super Bowl.
Maybe
sir.
Testaverde.
No, there's no way.
He might be.
Testaverde. He might be 4th.
Maybe.
Were you a big Steve Berline guy? That was before you were
That
born.
was well before
That
my
was before
time.
I
Yeah,
was-
that was
before
well
you were born.
before. Yeah.
They made a conference championship game in like their 2nd year.
Yeah. Yep.
And I believe Steve Berline was their quarterback.
Because they had everybody's best old player on their team.
Or was Steve Berline Steve Berline might have been the no, I think Brunell was with the Jaguars.
See, that I was going to say, Mark Brunell is one of my favorite old timey quarterbacks. You can go back and look at and just be like, "Wow, this guy rocked."
Steve was with the Raiders at one time.
I'm trying to Mark Brunell did rock though.
Yeah, Mark Brunell.
I was
fun.
a big Mark Brunell guy.
David Garrard was kind of fun too. Jaguars quarterbacks are a
he
little bit
was
fun.
fun.
They had a little fun run of quarterbacks.
Yeah, so okay, this is why I got confused because he spent 1 year with the. Oh, I guess was he not the starter? Who was the starter
In 99?
in '96? I think
96.
he only started 4 games. He played in 8.
How do you remember the
I know
second
that's
string-
why I'm like, what is happening right now
1996 starting quarterback.
for Carolina? He must have got hurt or something. Because I remember, I think Steve Berline played in the playoffs.
Oh, it was Kerry Collins. I knew that.
Oh,
I knew it was Kerry Collins.
Yeah.
That hurts. Kerry Collins might actually be our 3rd best quarterback in franchise history.
Oh, definitely.
Kerry Collins is probably the 3rd best quarterback in a lot of franchises history.
But my God, did they hate him?
Nobody likes Kerry Collins.
Yeah. DB's got some Kerry Collins stories.
I wonder what Kerry Collins is up to these days.
Hopefully he's not getting punched in the face by teammates anymore. Like I remember, DB was telling me this story. I remember him coming to the press conference. Like I remember seeing him in the press conference, and I was a kid with the sunglasses on, and people were like, "Hey, Kerry, what's going on?" And he's like, "Nothing." And it's just like wearing these giant sunglasses, and DB's like telling me the story, and I was like, "Wait, I remember the sunglasses presser."
Mhm.
And he's like, "Yeah, I got punched in the face."
Oh, Kerry.
I can't remember who he said did it, but oh man, incredible.
Imagine punching your quarterback. Oof.
I've talked to Max Crosby about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Did we ever find out any more about that? Like, what was the reasoning behind that?
I don't know.
Kirk tried to push Jesus on him or something? Or?
Yeah, he's like,
He was like, Max, let's go to Old Navy, cover up those tattoos, huh? Let's have a good time.
I'd like to tell you about my Lord and Savior. He's like, I'm good, man.
You don't
Max
put
like, I gotta
stickers
wrap
on a
up.
Ferrari.
That is true.
He's like, brother, I've got 2 X's in my first name. I'm good.
Don't F with me, Kirk.
Seriously though, fighting Max Crosby has to be one of the dumbest things you can
Especially if
do.
you're Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is not about that life.
Even Kirk Cousins as his prime, there was no reason. There was never a chance to fight Max
that's
Crosby.
not going to go well at all.
Also, Max Crosby he's that quiet level of
Crazy.
and also intimidating,
Yeah.
where he's not going to get up on your face and shout and scream or anything. But the minute he shows a little bit of aggression, you get
he might just straight up murder you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I met him at NBA Summer League last summer. He's not a guy you want to fight. You don't fight guys with Adam's apple tats.
Did AB try to talk to Max?
But she did talk to him. They
Oh, she
interviewed him.
did? How'd that go?
It was funny because she asked him about his rap album. That's how we got the interview.
Oh, nice.
So he's a very nice person, but
Mhm.
a very brooding force that I would not want to shove.
Are you more intimidated by Max Crosby or AB?
Max Crosby.
Okay.
he kind of looks
It's close, though.
He kind of looks like the Viking guy on Game of Thrones, or not like the Viking, like the guy from North of the Wall, the big redheaded
Oh,
bearded
okay.
guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of the vibe he gives me.
Do you
Especially-
remember the show Vikings that was on History Channel?
I remember it existing.
Yeah. It used to be really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it after maybe the first season, but I just stopped watching it.
It's good talk.
That's all I got. Good story. Yeah.
There was a show called Vikings.
I'm just sorry.
You are correct.
My bad. Sorry to bring up things I'm interested in.
That
Won't
show
do
is
that
awesome.
again. Thank
That
you,
show is
Rico.
amazing.
Which current? This is a good question from Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Which current NFL player would you be comfortable fighting?
All kickers.
Definitely Tua. I would fight Tua.
That's mean.
All you have to do is slap him upside the head.
Okay, don't
That's-
stop. That's mean. That's mean.
He said what I would.
You're gonna
feel-
make a concussion joke.
I wasn't
That's
gonna make.
mean.
I wasn't gonna make a joke. I was gonna make a reality about his current health situation. I could beat him in a fight.
He's starting quarterback.
Yeah, that's a bad situation.
He's
for
starting
you.
quarterback.
I'll be honest.
Truthfully, Bruce Young.
I would say Bryce
Young is way too nice and also way too tiny.
I would say I feel like I would.
Taller than me. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
Taller than
Also,
me.
to be clear, most of these people would still beat me up. I
Yeah,
understand
100%.
that. But in terms of the ones I would feel the most comfortable trying,
Yeah.
Bryce Young's on the list.
Bryce Young's on the list.
Tua's definitely on the list.
Why? I'm surprised you're starting with quarterbacks. Those are also the first names that come to mind.
Yeah, kickers. I mean, obviously kickers. Most of the kickers.
Most of the kickers. I'm trying to think of maybe.
I
like
feel
a
like I could take
receiver.
Harrison Butker.
Yeah, probably.
I will, especially if kicking's not allowed. Like if it's not a kickboxing situation.
Fair. Yeah, good point.
I do feel like there's going to be some like really skinny receivers.
That's what I'm trying to think of. Is
that
like
I would feel okay about.
I'd fight Deshaun Watson.
Whoa.
I'm not.
I'm gonna stay out of that.
Pause.
I'm gonna be honest. I think you'd lose that one.
I'm just afraid of what he might try. You know what I mean?
Might try some illegal moves.
I
Gotta be
just
careful about that.
We'd have to have some sort of dress code policy on Deshaun Watson there.
Oh, Devontae Smith. I could beat him up.
Oh yeah, he's tiny.
Yeah, I could beat him up.
He's teeny.
We probably
tiny.
weigh the same, truthfully. Now he does have me in speed. He could outmaneuver me, but you better be careful.
Yeah, but like if you're in a ring, the speed, like I get that it's helpful, but there's a limited amount of space there.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd fight
you're
Aaron
just like-
Rodgers.
he is old.
He's old.
I could
yeah,
probably.
that'd be a good one.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but
But
that's
you
because
gotta be
he wouldn't
careful.
fight back. That's because he wouldn't fight
He
back.
seems like a pacifist.
Yeah,
But if he turns into Kirko Chains, you're in trouble.
that is true.
I'm not worried about
That's
that.
when he goes Super Saiyan. You wouldn't understand that, but the kids did. Rigo did.
I mean, I'm familiar with what Super Saiyan is.
No. You don't understand.
Yeah,
It's okay. No. You wouldn't get it.
It's
No,
one of
you
those
wouldn't.
Yu-Gi-Oh things.
Robbie,
or
Yes.
whatever.
explain Super Saiyan. Go ahead.
For the podcast
Is
listeners.
it Dragon Ball Z? Is that the
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
I don't know. This guy, like,
Why'd you start with Yu-Gi-Oh if you knew what it was?
I knew it was one of the things I had heard of.
Because he's being a
Um,
dick.
He basically like hulks out.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
I think my answer is Devontae Smith. I feel pretty good about that.
Jason says Devontae's a good one.
Yeah.
Juan says if we could go cross sports, I would not fight John Morant. Yeah, he escalates things really quickly. Oh, you like to pick up basketball game? Wait for this. Oh, easy, bud.
I'm just doing a bazooka celebration. No, that's not a gun. I promise. It's not a weapon either. Don't worry about it.
He's just gonna start like celebratory knifing people.
TK is absolutely right. There is not a single NFL player that I could be.
No, this isn't about winning the fight. This is about
It's like picking out of the entirety. You have to win a fight. Who do you pick?
Yeah, it's like who would you get your ass kicked beat by the least?
Yeah, I feel like Devontae Smith's a good pick.
I think Devontae Smith's in the category.
Yeah.
Did you look up some kickers and punters?
Do you want me to?
I mean, if you want to.
There are some. Who's the?
There's some
do you remember
punters.
Steve Weatherford, the Giants
Oh, that
punter?
dude was yoked.
That guy's still yoked.
Yeah, he was on.
Now
like,
he just makes fun of kids online. Not in like a good way either. Like in a very derogatory way. He's like, kids used to be different. Okay,
oh, so
man.
he's Jason Peter.
I guess. Yes. That's of all the things you've said about Jason Peter, that might be the most offensive one he might be offended by.
I mean, college kids are kids, right? Like that's.
You just called him a punter. He might not like that.
I would bet that Steve Weatherford currently more jacked than Jason Peter. I don't think that's a hot
Ooh.
take.
Wow. How do we judge that?
I don't know. Steve Weatherford's been on like bodybuilding magazines. I think he wins. I don't know
That's
what
fair.
to tell you.
Okay. Let's see. Jason Myers, Cameron Dicker, Brandon Aubrey, Harrison Butker.
I feel like I could take Harrison Butker.
I could definitely beat up Cam Little.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cam Little's a pretty
Yeah.
easy target.
Well, let's Joey Sly. Yeah, Joey Sly, former Panther kicker. I would beat him up if I see him on the street. All those missed PATs. Can't tell you how many times I'd get super excited, not being able to watch a regional broadcast of Carolina Panther football, and I'm either listening on the radio and I get the ESPN app indicator,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, Carolina scores 2-yard rushing touchdown by Chuba Hubbard, and then it's Miss PAT by Joey Sly. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Amazing Daniel defending his favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
What does he say?
He says, I feel like Aaron Rodgers has that old man strength. Like trying to fight your dad, even though you're younger and more athletic, he still kicks your ass. I forgot that that Daniel was such an adamant supporter of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Evan
brother,
McPherson from
Aaron Rodgers is too
Cincinnati.
high to do
Beat him
anything.
up.
I'm McPherson. Yeah, I think so.
I could beat up McPherson.
I think it's mostly kickers.
It's mostly kickers. I don't think that there's. I can't think of another
Punters.
like position group.
No, I mean you're somebody in the chat said this. Your options are going to be kicker,
Mhm.
punter, quarterbacks. You might have some cornerbacks,
Like nickel corners, specifically,
Like
the
little, like the slot
and
guys.
slot receivers,
Yeah.
like basically guys who line up from each other.
and then receivers.
There's no lineman in the world I would ever consider taking on. Not
No,
a single one.
not-
Especially
Few tight
defensive
ends.
linemen.
There's maybe a few tight.
Are there?
There's
Like
some
who?
skinny tight ends.
I'm not. No,
I think
I'm
think
not.
that I could.
tight end skinny is not corner skinny.
I think that I could in a long bout, like if it was 20 rounds or more, I think I could wear down Mike Gesicki. I could out gritty him for a long period of time. I've got him. What?
Sorry, just the chat. I'm not gonna do that. You
For
can
the
read-
podcast listeners.
Nope. You can read it if you want to.
Which one? Hold on. Where are you?
Juan, couple up.
Won a couple.
Emmett asked, "Do we have to fight fair?" TK, we're not saying we could beat them. We're saying these are the ones we would be most comfortable losing to.
Does
linebackers?
Does he mean our JP? Oh,
no, he doesn't.
Jeez. Come on.
Linebackers are a hard no. All linebackers, no.
TK, yes, this is a delusional argument. Why are you arguing with that?
All linemen, no. See, I do think wide receivers are low key because they're kind of divas. I think they would kind of do that punch and run thing.
Maybe.
So I think you might have a shot at a wide receiver.
I think so. That's why I picked
What
Devontae.
NFL coach would you fight?
I'm not finding
Not Dan Campbell.
Not Dan Campbell.
Not Dan Campbell. He's insane.
Oh, listen, any offensive genius, I can take those guys.
I don't know.
Right now, taking your guy from San Francisco. Yeah.
Well, right now.
He's down and out.
He's-
I got him. That's an easy win. Easy win. Easy dub.
I don't think you're taking Sean McVay. He seems pretty fit.
Andy Reid.
Well, yeah.
All I have to do is just ring a dinner bell.
I feel I feel like I could take Mike McCarthy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Definitely feel like I could take Mike McCarthy. Oh, he's not a head coach anymore, but
Well, you just put Mike McCarthy in a 2-minute drill.
what's old boy's name at he was in Miami, Mike McDaniels.
Oh yeah.
I could beat that dude.
Oh,
up.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could beat that dude up.
I'd like to see a vape off between him and Shane. That'd be that's the real competition that I'd like to see. Shane, do you think you could out vape Mike McDaniel?
No. That dude looks like he's just on the sideline.
Oh yeah. I'm not taking Vrabel, especially after this year. He's probably got a lot of pent up anger.
Yeah, hasn't been. Never
Yeah,
mind.
he's not expressing his emotions, correctly recently. More than I don't know.
Seems like he hasn't had as many outlets for his
That's fair.
energy. As,
I'm not taking on Robert Saleh. That guy seems
no, he is.
Most bald guys I wouldn't fight.
Oh,
Except maybe Sauter.
Amazing Daniel says Pete Carroll. Didn't he get fired?
Yeah, he's not.
He's not active, right? But I would fight.
Yeah,
Pete Carroll.
he's not coaching anywhere.
Although I will say he's very old. He seems a little spry.
He's also very wiry.
Yeah, I'm a little worried
Very
about
wiry.
Pete Carroll.
He's still doing the 80s leotard warm-ups and stuff. So.
He's not Bill Belichick 72. He's a different breed.
I think if they're a head coach that comes from a defensive background, I'm probably staying away.
I think that's a good call.
You've got to go for the offensive-minded coaches.
I think that's true. Although
I could beat up Sean Payton. I could take Sean Payton.
Yeah, I feel like I could take Sean.
Yeah, I could take Sean Payton.
I think I could do Sean Payton.
Let's see who else. AFC West.
Ben Johnson.
Who's it? I don't know. Ben Johnson still squats and stuff. He's still lifting.
I am not fighting Jim Harbaugh. That dude's insane.
Oh yeah.
He is nuts.
I'd probably put John in there too. I'm not fighting either. The Harbaughs.
Their family just is wired different. I'm not interested in that. At all.
I could not tell you right now off the top of my head who the Ravens coach is, but I could probably take him.
Oh, it's Jesse Minter.
Is he defensive coach?
Yeah, he was the old
Never mind.
coordinator.
Nope, take it back.
He
Sorry,
was,
Jesse.
Harbaugh's defensive coordinator at Michigan.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, so he's from the Harbaugh
exactly.
tree, and he's a defensive. Although I don't think he's very big.
I made a very quick snap judgment because I've seen photos of him.
Yeah,
but now I'm not. No, I take.
You
it all
know
back.
who I'm not fighting for sure is D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, D'Amico Ryans, Robert Saleh, Dan Campbell, those guys.
any
Yeah,
of
I'm
those
not doing that. Not good. Not good.
Tim says the Harbaugh mom could probably knock you out. Probably,
and she's 90 or something like that. She's
100%.
old.
Yeah,
Their dad. I saw that documentary that they had done, or the ESPN 60 or whatever, that he runs a mile every day, and he's in his 90s or late 80s or something.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
relax, Jack.
I know, it's crazy.
It's fine.
And it was fun to watch because he's doing his run. He's going very slow, and he goes, "It takes me 20 minutes, but I still do it." That rocks. Listen, great life, great
Good
life.
for you, bud.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
That's the whole goal in life, right? Just to keep being able to do something that
stuff. I'm not trying to jog.
We took the stairs today, and you audibly groaned. You went, "Oh, I guess we're doing this."
Well, because you veered off. You didn't even ask me.
I'm not asking. I always take the stairs.
You're just like, hey, we're going stairs.
I'm trying to uncramp my calf still, so I'm going to take the stairs.
Uncramp my calf.
I am.
What happened to your calf?
I don't know. It's been at this point, it's probably not a cramp. It's probably pulled, is what like an actual doctor would tell you.
Cramps
but-
go away relatively quickly,
But
unless you're Darren Peterson.
Yeah.
Apparently, have you been DP in this thing?
I do think that I have been because I double creatine on Friday, and that's when it happened.
Oh no!
I missed one of my shots like on Thursday or whatever. So I double creatine Friday, and I told you I was like, oh, I'm like DNP in this thing, and I might have DNP'd myself.
My God!
Oh no!
I know.
Friggin' Darren Peterson.
What if I just started showing up to the set, but I sat on the bench off the side?
Yeah,
and somebody else did the show.
You just sit over there in that chair,
Yeah.
and you're just like, or like halfway through the show, you're like,
Time for me to go.
I need one.
You
It'd
show
always
up
be
for
the-
one guest, but then
Yes.
you leave halfway through the interview.
And it'd have to be I'd have to pick one show for my biggest performance yet.
Yeah.
So
You
probably post Iowa, right? Like
you
the
sh-
Monday after Iowa.
You should just have like a complete heater of a show, like you did against the first half against
Mhm.
BYU, and
Yep.
then at 8:30, just be like, I can't do this anymore.
Man, oh geez, the calf. I can't sit and talk at the
Or
same time.
like the Labor Day show, really big show, right? It's the first show after the first game of the season.
Yeah, that you're making us work.
And you're like getting ready, and we're here at 6:58, and you're just like, I warmed up. I'm out. I can't do this. I'm out.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock. No,
Yeah.
not for me. No.
And then I'm just Bill Self looking around like, what the hell's going on, man?
Bill Self's probably had a way better summer this year than he did last summer, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't have to worry about DNP's stupid ass.
I was just- you don't even have good burns. You just say it bluntly, which is fine. That's fine. That's fine. It looks like Rico has our SEC graphics done.
Does he? Well,
Yeah.
that's good because we're gonna do this at 8:00.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a deal.
So let's take a quick break. That's awesome. I'm Ravi. We'll be right back with more Hurrdat Sports Live right after this.
I want to say T, but at the same time, I think like people know her skill level. Like they know she's good, but I think it'll be cool to like see her be able to be out there and like hopefully do all of it. You know, so I don't know. I think she's been getting so much stronger. Like when we're in the weight room, I'm baffled by what she can do. So she puts in that work. So I'm excited to see how she does this year and what comes out of it for her.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
think it's been all of them. I think, I've had very few distractions, less so than everyone before. And, I think the days of having that one guy that gets up and gives a speech that gets everyone fired up are probably less. I think, nowadays it's probably more, and I think as a leader, you have to be willing to lead and be led. If Jameer Khan and Owen Stoudemire in the weight room, and they're trying to bench 400, Owen's probably going to, implore Jameer. If they go out and run gassers, it's probably a little bit more Jameer and say, come on, Owen. I think that's true leadership, is when we're all pushing ourselves to meet a standard, exceed the standard, and set a new standard. And so I've seen a lot of that diffused leadership, while at the same time, guys not being afraid to hold each other accountable and tell each other. And that's the secret sauce. Sometimes you get, old coaches, old players up here, and they say, on my day, we did this. And, it's not always the way it was, number one. And number two, it's just a different world. Most players want to lead by performance, but I see all kinds of positive signs of guys holding each other accountable, and, everything from run off the field, to run to the ball, to dominant contact, to make plays.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. I'm Ravi. That's Austin here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Reminding you, call our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical, 402-614-9700. Austin's trying to get back up in the morning at like 4 o'clock, go to the gym. Might need a little pep in your step to do that.
Yeah. I need to get better sleep. I need to do.
Need a little better sleep. Might need a little boost. Make sure you're staying healthy, get those vitamins, get those peptides going. Next Gen's got you covered, whether you're, relatively young and healthy like Austin, or whether you're.
What do you mean by relatively?
I mean, you're not as young as Brandon.
Damn.
Didn't mean to hurt you like that.
That's tough.
You're used to being the young guy in the office, aren't you?
Yeah. At least on this show, I used to be the youngest.
Yeah, used to in this show, but in this office,
I've never been the youngest.
No, but you're creeping toward in your radio world. You were probably the youngest by like 40 years.
That is very true.
But
every stop I went to, I was young until I came here.
In the internet,
and I got called Unk.
In the internet world, you're 29. You're several years past everybody else.
29.
But even if you're young and relatively uninjured like Austin, or
relatively uninjured.
If you're getting, we got that cramp situation.
Yeah, the permanent cramp.
They might be able to help. You got to go check them out.
What if I went to Next Gen and I was like, hey, I have a permanent cramp in my calf? What do you think that they would tell me?
Dr. Laura would be like, I got you. Like, I don't know how that happened, but I got you. No matter how you're feeling, to get feeling your best, Next Gen can help you out. 402-614-9700. All right. It is quarterback tier time.
Let's do it.
SEC edition.
And this one we actually planned.
Yeah.
The last one we just threw together.
It was a little impromptu.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't know the categories were going to manifest themselves the way they did. So here are our categories.
Okay.
Sure things.
Mm-hmm.
One question to answer.
Yep.
Vets with questions.
Yep.
Young guns.
Mm-hmm.
Transfers.
Yes.
And I just said transfers instead of lower level transfers because there weren't as many of those in the SEC. So I kept it at transfers. And then Iowa QB is our sixth category.
I at first, when I did this exercise, I didn't know that there might be one that fit. I found one that did, but I would have felt bad not putting one in there. So I did find one to put in there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So where you want to start top with our sure things and work our way down, or you want to start with Iowa QB?
So I don't know how Rico has this, if he has it like broken up for.
I have it separated into Austin's tiers and Robbie's tiers. So one graphic is Austin's, the other is Robbie's.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Who wants to go first?
I would like to see your tier first.
I figured you would. Okay. So
let's pop it up there, Rico.
Throw it up there. So to start at the top, I only have one sure thing, and I think it's Gunnar Stockton.
Okay.
That's kind of where I feel the most comfortable with, just in terms of the SEC play. I feel like he's performed well in the biggest of stages, the brightest of lights. I know that they got run out of the college football playoff a year ago. I don't think that's Stockton's fault, though. I think that they just ran into a buzzsaw that was Ole Miss and the offense that they had at the time.
I agree.
The one question to answer for Trinidad Chambliss and Arch Manning, I think in the national sense, and a lot of the SEC honks are going to put those two into our top category. I have a big question if Trinidad Chambliss is going to repeat the same success he had last year with a new play caller and no Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
And then Arch Manning, my biggest question for him is I think he leans closer to the sure thing.
Agreed.
Because of how well he played at the end of the year. But can he play in the big games? He's going to play in a lot of them.
We're also talking about like a 6-game sample size where he actually looked like a good quarterback,
yes.
which I think that in and of itself is a one question to answer.
I think I would be ready to move him to sure thing if he plays well against Ohio State, regardless of win or loss. I think if he plays well in that game, I'd feel more comfortable with it. I just want to throw this in there too, just to back up that stat. He only threw for more than 250 yards twice against SEC foes that had winning records a year ago. Yep. That was Vanderbilt, where they won 34-31. He had 328 passing yards, 3 scores. And in a 35-10 loss to Georgia, 251 yards passing, a touchdown and a pick.
Which they're getting their head beat in.
Yes. My veterans with questions. Do you have a comment? Please go.
I think I have one more in that category that you don't.
Okay.
But we can wait.
Okay. My vets with questions. I feel like this is the category we probably fit the most in. I have John Mateer, Marcel Reed, Sam Levitt, and Lenore Sellers. The Sam Levitt one is the one that had the most. I didn't know if I should put him under transfers or vets with questions, but I left him here because I have a lot of questions about Sam Levitt. And my main question is, he wasn't even the first choice to be quarterback for Lane Kiffin. So how comfortable and confident can they actually be to have him be a quarterback that's a very talented and very expensive roster? I'm curious if he's going to be the one thing that hamstrings them the most, especially when they get into some of their bigger games. John Mateer last year was his highest career high in turnovers. He had 12 total last year, 11 interceptions. And can he stay healthy? He hadn't proven that through the majority of last year. And he also tried to play through enough stuff that I think hampered him in both ways. I do feel like you could probably move Mateer up. I'm usually pretty high on Mateer. I was high on him last year at different times as well. One of the bigger question marks that I actually have is Marcel Reed, because those last 3 or 4 Power 4 games that they played, Marcel Reed was not great. His yardage always was pretty consistent. His completion percentage was pretty good. They have a completely revamped offensive line. I believe they have a new play caller as well.
Colin Klein. Colin Klein took the head coaching job at Kansas State. So that is, to me, that's the big question with Marcel Reed.
And then his last 3 Power 4 games that they played, South Carolina, Texas, Miami in the college football playoff, he had 2 interceptions in each game, so 6 interceptions in his final 3 really big games. I'm not huge on Marcel Reed. I think that their schedule gets tougher, and I think that there are just a lot more questions with what he is as a quarterback comparative to the scheme that he was in a year ago.
So the one that I have in a different category there, and we'll get to mine in a second. So I have Sam Levitt in the one question to answer because he was highly productive 2 years ago when healthy at Arizona State, led him to a college football playoff. That's a big enough sample size for me to say the only question is, can he replicate that success?
Okay, fair enough. But again, it was the foot injury and he wasn't the first choice of quarterback. So I have a few more issues with that just in terms of that. The Young Guns was the healthiest category.
Pretty straightforward, I think. Here.
Minchie, Kamario Taylor, Keelan Russell, KJ Jackson, Jared Curtis, and Faison Brandon, who we mentioned. He's a 5-star quarterback in this last year's class. He just beat out.
Just got there yesterday.
Yeah.
And just got named the starter yesterday.
Minchie's interesting just in terms of obviously the Nebraska ties to all of it. I think Kamario Taylor might be the best of all of them, but I don't know that Mississippi State is going to win enough games for him to get that recognition. And then for the transfers, Austin Simmons and Byron Brown. And then for the Iowa quarterback, Aaron Philo threw more interceptions and touchdowns in limited time. So if I had to put one in there, I found one. And also, you know how much we dislike Florida quarterbacks. So I figured it's easy to kind of put him in there.
So I put Kenny Minchie in the transfers category.
Okay.
It's understandable. He's sort of,
it's one and the same for him.
Yes, he's an unknown. I thought he was maybe more of a question mark since he'd been in a system for a couple years. I thought he felt maybe more like a transfer as opposed to a young gun, but I'm not going to quibble over that at all.
Okay. Let's flip over to Ravi's. I want to see his next.
Okay. Yeah, if we've got that up there. I think he was changing one on there because I gave him my list was a little.
Okay, so while we're waiting,
1 second.
Yep, while we're waiting for that, do you have a one quarterback on here that you have the biggest beef for from my list?
I don't think so. The only one that I had a big difference I think the biggest difference was Sam Levitt.
Okay.
I think Sam Levitt was better 2 years ago than you're giving him credit for.
I just can't get over the fact that was not the person that they want to pursue first. and that he really wasn't that coveted.
I don't know if he was that coveted. I don't know how coveted he was at the price he was asking. That's a different conversation.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, that's like a few years ago, and I know you're not huge into baseball, but like Bryce Harper, it took him until basically spring training to sign because Scott Boras says he needs $300 million. And everybody was like, we really want Bryce Harper. We don't really want to pay him $300 million.
Right.
So that, I think, is a factor in the Sam Levitt situation. The other part is, and listen, if we're going to do this with Nebraska, I think we have to do this with LSU as well. Technically, Anthony Clandrew was not the first choice for Nebraska either.
Okay.
But again, I think we overestimate how defined the selections are when people are going after guys in the transfer portal. I think they have a group of guys they like that they're okay with and can live with. And then after that, if you get past that group, we're having a dicey conversation. I think Sam Levitt was in the group of like, hey, Damon Williams, Sam Levitt, like the group of guys that LSU was going to be okay with.
I guess just in terms of the needle movers, Sam Levitt is not on that. But because of the other talent that's around him, I think he will maybe, if LSU has a good season, I don't know that Sam Levitt has some extraordinary season that we're, rewriting history books about, but he will get a lot of credit for their success because he is a quarterback of a good team.
And I'm just like, he led Arizona State to a college football playoff.
Did he?
Yes.
Did he?
I mean, what you want to say? It's all scataboo?
I'm not saying it's all scataboo.
Okay, but he was the starting.
It was a wide open Big 12.
He was the starting quarterback of a college football playoff team from Arizona State. Like, he's one of the only guys on that list that can actually say that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
His struggles last year, even though
maybe I'm just being a Sam Levitt hater.
I think you are, honestly, a little bit. Like,
maybe.
And
I have some prejudice against Sam.
He's going from Kenny Dillingham, who's a good offensive play caller, to Lane Kiffin, who's a great offensive play caller. And even when he played last year, he was good. He just got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his numbers are good. He was still like, his completion percentage probably isn't as high as most people would want for a modern day quarterback, but he's above 60%. His touchdown interception ratio was 10-3 last year, obviously in limited playing time. He still threw for over 1,600 yards. He was on pace for 3,000. Like, he's good. His interception rate dropped last year. Like, I don't know. Like, I think Sam Levitt's better than we think he is.
Okay. All right.
I think he is Then you think he is. So that's my quibble. I put Sam Levitt in the one question to answer.
Yep.
Sure thing. I agree. It's only Gunnar Stockton. You went over Arch Manning. My one question is, can he replicate the second half of the season? Is that who he really is? Trinidad Chambliss is he that guy without Lane Kiffin?
Do you think we'll be able to answer the one question, guys, from both of our lists?
Yeah.
Early? Because you've got Ohio State, Texas week 2. I believe week 3 is Ole Miss LSU.
If you give me, the question with Levitt, I think it's answered pretty early. It's just then, does he stay healthy?
Okay.
Right. So, but Arch Manning, I think you'll know against Ohio State if he's that guy or not.
And it's at home. So,
yeah.
I mean, your excuses are limited.
Yeah. If he doesn't perform well, I don't think it definitively answers the question. If he does perform well, I feel good about it.
Okay.
Chambliss, I probably need to see like halfway through the season to see him having done it against SEC opponents again without Lane Kiffin. We went over veterans with questions. I don't have any issues there.
Well, okay, so here's just to go back to Chambliss. Here's his first games.
Yeah.
Opener at home against Louisville.
So that's an interesting game.
Yeah, at home against Charlotte, at home against LSU, at the Swamp, at Vandy, at home against Missouri, at Texas. Like I think you can make it
like 4 games.
Yes,
give me like 4 games.
I feel like you can make a pretty definitive choice on Chambliss and where he stands.
You said 4th game was at the Swamp?
Yes.
Yeah. After that, give me 4 games, I'll be fine.
Okay.
So that's probably the deepest in the season that I need for the one question, guys. For the young guns, those are all pretty self-explanatory.
Yep. Can I ask you? We didn't even touch Lenore Sellers on mine.
Yeah.
That he feels like I didn't know if which do you think he's closer to? Do you think he's closer to maybe like a different category? Like he's not in the young gun category, right? Like he's past that point.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's closer to the bottom of the vets with questions or to the top and nearing one question to answer?
I think he's squarely in vets with questions. There was no other place that I felt like I could put him.
Do you think he's at the bottom of that tier between the 3 that you have, Mateer, Reed, and Sellers?
I think he's in the middle. I would put Mateer, Sellers, then Marcel Reed is how I would do it. Like I don't know, man. The question with,
do you know what his best statistical game was last year?
what's that?
It was against Kentucky, 35-13 win. He went 11 of 14 for 153 passing yards. He had 14 rushes for 81 yards. He did not score in the game.
Yeah, no, he was bad last year.
Yeah.
He was
And
bad.
it was a double-edged sword. It wasn't that, oh, well, he had a good rushing game, but he didn't
No.
pass well. He had turnovers and he just plainly was not up to the high expectations that everyone had kind of created for him. Yeah.
He was under 300 yards rushing last year, under 2,500 yards passing. He was I think he missed like half of a game, but he played in 12 games. Like he had a full season. He was not good.
Yeah.
I don't know like where to put it. And the major questions with Sellers is just, is he ever going to produce at the level that we think his talent is? And right now I'm leaning no.
Yeah.
Right. At least, so I don't know. Maybe he is at the bottom of vets with questions, because at least Marcel Reed was relatively good last year.
I mean, Marcel Reed also was so highly consistent. So consistent. Like almost every single game, he was at least over 200 and I want to say 30 passing yards. He was throwing a touchdown in every single contest except for some of those at the very end of the stretch and in the college football playoff game. Marcel Reed's worst game came at the absolute worst time. That was against a Miami defense that kind of just smothered him, and Reuben Bain was all over the place, and he threw 2 really bad picks.
Which, to be fair, they did that to a lot of guys.
Yes, but also that doesn't really tell the story of what his season was as a whole. But I still have questions about Marcel Reed because they didn't play the greatest SEC schedule in history. They also, again, we mentioned losing the offensive play caller, and there's just enough movement and kind of revampedness that comes with Texas A&M that I'm not sure that I'm comfortable saying, oh, I feel that Marcel Reed is going to be closer to the top of the category. I do think I agree with you, though. I think it does go Mateer, Reed, Sellers.
Yeah, because I think until Mateer got hurt, he was playing well.
Yeah.
He was throwing the ball well.
People were saying Heisman Mateer.
Like he was throwing the ball well. He was still running a little bit. Like I feel, and he's the guy I had a lot of questions going into the season about last year. I think he, until he got hurt, was playing really well. Now he got beat up a little bit by a pretty good Texas team. That was his worst healthy game of the season. After that, it was a little bit dicey. But even at the end of the year, he bounced back a little bit with good games against LSU and Alabama. And so, although I think he threw a bunch of picks against LSU.
Yeah.
But relatively productive there. I don't know. I think he's the top of the list. Sellers, you're right. Sellers might be at the bottom. I don't think I was giving Reed enough credit for what he was doing last year. And Sellers was bad.
Yeah.
Sellers hasn't been good. He's really never approached, except for, again, we sort of did the DJ Lagway thing with him last year.
It's very DJ Lagway.
Where it was like, hey, he had a really good close to the season. We think this is it, which is why I have Arch Manning in the one question to answer category instead of the sure thing category. Even Trinidad Chambliss to a certain degree. We're talking about like 9 really good games with Trinidad Chambliss, which is a good sample size, but especially with the change in play callers, I want to make sure that that's real. Sellers was one of the easiest ones to peg for me.
Yeah, I think so.
There was no other place he was going to fit other than
because he's no longer, you can't give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he doesn't have enough experience.
No,
he started a full season last year.
And he's going to be in his 4th year at South Carolina at this point. Like, people forget he was draft eligible last year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People thought he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. Either him or like Garrett Nussmeier or one of those guys. Or I don't think anybody
DJ
really
Lagway.
Well,
he was eligible.
He was eligible. I don't think that people thought that Klubnik was going to be 1, although they thought he could be a first rounder.
Drew Aller.
I think he was first rounder. I don't think people had him at 1. The number 1 overall pick dog was like Nussmeier and Sellers going into last year. And so like he didn't even end up leaving school. That's the wild part about Sellers. So there was only one place for him. We didn't get on Iowa QBs. I did put Austin Simmons in there
just because you're a hater.
I'm not a hater. It's just like that dude lost his guy to a guy that was playing D2 football.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys that hadn't played at all, that we were just glazing last year.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it at all. I was like, he's never played any football. Are we sure about this?
Well, here's the interesting part about Austin Simmons as well, is that they're in a huge question mark of when will Ahmad Hardy be able to play?
Yeah.
And if you have to shoulder your expectations offensively on Austin Simmons, first game you play Arkansas Pine Bluff. So a Thursday night, you should be able to handle that. They're going to play Kansas in their second game of the year. And I'm not saying that should be, necessarily a walk in the park or anything, but it's definitely not going to be the easiest game, especially if you don't have your starting running back.
Yeah.
And right after that, you get Troy. So maybe you get like a little bit of a leeway to the first 3 or 4 games, because then your first road games at Mississippi State, you play at home against Florida. They have a little bit of a ramp to get them going. And I find that very interesting, because if Simmons plays really well right there, they feel incredible about Ahmad Hardy joining back and getting everything going. But they don't really have like a murderer's row of a schedule. They play Texas and Georgia back-to-back. They end the year playing Oklahoma at home. But there's a chance that Simmons doesn't have to play tremendously well for them still to meet their 9 or 8 win standard that they normally do.
Which is the most Iowa quarterback thing of all time.
That is true. That's very fair.
By the way, like that is the most
fair.
Iowa quarterback thing of all time. It's like, we don't need you to beat the world. We just need you to keep it on the rails. But
at least he'll throw for 100 more yards. He'll probably get to 200. Probably get to 200.
I mean, if he gets to 200, that would be 20% of his total career passing yards.
Can I ask you a group versus group question?
Sure.
Either in your group or mine, they're basically the same. Between young guns and transfers, which group's under more scrutiny?
Oh, under more scrutiny.
Who has to perform?
Let me see here. Young guns, we have Russell, Taylor, Curtis, Brandon, and KJ Jackson.
Yep.
I would say young guns, because if you look at the teams these guys play for, I don't expect that much out of Auburn. I know some people are a little bit higher on them, and I certainly don't expect much out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
So the situations those guys find themselves in, I think, are much more forgiving in terms of actual results. Keelan Russell is
has to win.
Alabama.
Yep, he has to win.
Like that's Kalen DeBoer's job could be on the line if he's bad.
They have to get that right. Yep.
Faison Brandon at Tennessee. I think some people think Tennessee's a dark horse this year in the SEC. I don't know that I believe that, but like if things don't go well for Tennessee again this year, like we've got a Josh Heupel problem all of a sudden. So there's a ton of pressure there. Jared Curtis, 5-star, coming straight out, starting right away, and you've got
to replace Pavia. There's a lot of faces that will be looking at you. Yeah.
And the question for Vanderbilt is, and I get it's Vanderbilt, and it's not Alabama or Georgia or any place like that, but the question for Vanderbilt all of a sudden, and Clark Lee, is going to be, was this a Diego Pavia thing or is this a Vanderbilt thing? I do think there's a certain amount of pressure there. I don't think Kamario Taylor has that much pressure. It's Mississippi State. It's whatever. But I do think overall the young guns clearly have more pressure than the transfers.
Okay. All right.
I think they will be. I mean, on Keelan Russell alone,
That's
it
fair.
will be like you're the starting quarterback at Alabama, and if you don't play well, I'd say it's a coin flip whether your coach has a job next year.
I just didn't know if you wanted to put a little bit more on the transfers with Brown and with Minchie, because if they're not successful, their team's tanking.
Yeah, but I also don't know that if nobody would be surprised if Auburn and Kentucky are bad.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think
Would you put Simmons in that category then too?
Simmons probably has a little bit more pressure if I'm moving him from Iowa QB to transfer.
Right.
I think Simmons
that's where I have him.
A little bit more pressure because I do think people think Missouri could be okay. I still don't think it's anywhere near the neighborhood as.
I mean, that's where we're always putting Missouri, right? That they're going to end up 9-3 or 8-4.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I don't think
they'll be number 23 to start the year and number 24 to finish.
Which again, perfect to fit in the Iowa QB situation.
It's mean, but it's fair.
I feel like I nailed that. I was just like, he's the perfect Iowa QB in that situation. And let's be honest, the colors are pretty much the same.
Right.
So I think there's not a ton of pressure on Austin Simmons because of what you talked about. He just has to be okay.
Right.
And if he's not, then who's really crying about whether or not Missouri was what we thought they were?
Can we pull up Ravi's one more time? Just full screen that. In terms of vets with questions, let's start there.
Yeah.
Can you give me what do you think is the ceiling for all of those guys in terms of their teams? So if they play to their absolute utmost potential, where do you think Oklahoma? Where do you think A&M? And where do you think South Carolina can go?
I mean, Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma and A&M, I think, are both college football playoff teams if their quarterbacks play well.
You want to put Oklahoma even into title contender?
Sure. I mean,
okay.
Sure. I mean,
I think A&M is capped. I don't know that I don't trust them enough to say, if they hit their ceiling, that they're going to be winning the national title.
I don't know. If you're like a power conference team and you're in the playoffs, I'm kind of just assuming you're a title contender. I get that there's, we did this yesterday with the bracket. I get there's tiers of teams that I think can or can't. But let's say Marcel Reed hits a heater in the playoffs the way Trinidad Chambliss did. All of a sudden, we're
That's
talking,
fair.
And so, and I don't.
Do you think he's capable of that?
I didn't think Trinidad Chambliss was capable of what I saw from him in the playoff last year until I did. Like, I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was just like, no, I'm just going to carry this team. Like, you know what I mean? That was a totally different experience with Trinidad Chambliss. So I would put Oklahoma slightly ahead of A&M, but not enough to really make a distinction. I think they're both college football playoff teams if their quarterbacks play well. Sellers in South Carolina, I think, like, I don't know, 9-3. I don't, maybe like a top 20 team. I don't know that team has college football playoff ceiling.
So let's see, just off of the rip, their toughest games would be at Alabama, home against Tennessee, at Oklahoma. I guess you could say at home against A&M, and then at home against Georgia, second to last week of the year. And then they finish up their season playing Clemson.
Yeah, so that feels like a 3 or 4 loss team.
Okay.
If Lenore Sellers.
But that's the other part too. I mean, if Lenore Sellers,
if he's bad, that team's like,
yeah, that's a 3-win team.
4-8.
They'll be Kent State, they'll be Towson, and then everything else turns into coin flips from there.
Yeah, 100%.
Except maybe Arkansas. Are they better than Arkansas?
I think they're like in the same. Although it's Ryan Silverfield, he's new coach out of Memphis. Like, so it's
like Arkansas, Mississippi State. I don't know what to do with Mississippi State.
Just flip coins. I like Jeff Levy a lot, but
listen, I think Mississippi State, I think that they're kind of a sleeper, but I think that they did that last year. And so I don't really know. I don't feel confident enough to say, oh, they're going to improve from where they were a year ago, but I also don't feel.
Yeah, I know what to do with them.
They're just complete neutral territory for me.
Yeah, I have no idea what to do with them. I do think I am interested to see Kamario Taylor, though. I think he could be fun to watch. I just don't know how good that Mississippi State's team is going to be.
Yeah.
Without having their schedule right in front of me. Let's take a quick break here. We're going to talk to Stephen Means from Cleveland.com as we preview Ohio State, who is always in the hunt for a national title, and that's their expectations as well. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live right after this.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. One of my buddies went to Nebraska. He told me all about the basketball games and how fun they were. So I was like, "Screw it, let's go up for the night." Drove up there before the game, then back to KC after. It was a lot of fun. Good atmosphere. They were playing. I think it was Wisconsin. Ended up getting the win, and it was a fun time.
Yeah. Did you follow Nebraska basketball for the rest of that season?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they had a really good season. It was a lot of fun to watch, and just like the way that they played the game. They weren't, always the highest ranked team until eventually they were a pretty high ranked team, which was pretty cool to see. But they played the game hard, which was fun to watch.
What did you think of Nebraska fans?
They're great. They're great. Had a lot of energy. There was like some certain things that they were doing. Like I had no idea what was going on. Like what they saying certain words of a song or like did a certain chant. I don't know. I was just there for the ride.
What have you had to do to keep on weight, so to speak?
Just eat more, honestly. That was the biggest thing. And then also getting stronger in the weight room with Corey and his staff.
How many calories do you have to eat?
I couldn't tell you the calories, but it's like up to 6 meals a day.
Are they big meals? Like, and what do they consist of? Like, are there specific components of those meals that, you know, you have to eat a lot of?
So you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is like you're going to be your biggest meals. But then like the other 3 meals in between the breakfast, lunch, and dinner would be like snacks, but it's also like a quesadilla or like something that's actually going to fill your stomach and not just like a regular snack like grape or something.
Do you ever get tired of eating all that food?
Yes, sir.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ.
Did you forget? You kind of paused there.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I stuck Pop-Tart in my mouth way too close to the
way to start
there.
Yep. Steven's going to love us.
So that's on me. That one's on me. No, we do have Steven Means here with us from Cleveland.com. Talk a little Ohio State football. Steven, how are we doing this morning?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Do you ever start talking to your guests with a full Pop-Tart in your mouth? Did you ever take a bite like right before you start an interview or something?
It was like a little bit of Pop-Tart.
No, that was a large chunk of a Pop-Tart.
Not Pop-Tart, but I've definitely taken a sip of water and gone, oh, shoot, now I have to talk.
Okay, but I just need to know, just because we started with Pop-Tart conversations this morning, can you give me like a couple Pop-Tart rankings for you? Like, what's your top 3?
I mean, the cinnamon is number 1. That's not even a conversation.
That's what we were eating this morning.
Mm-hmm. Brown sugar cinnamon, good choice.
You're a weird guy if you don't make number 1. Come on, man. What are we doing? Stick to the basics sometimes. The strawberry one is pretty good.
I'm with you.
Man, it's hard. A third one's... The problem is I don't eat a lot of Pop-Tarts anymore, so it's a hard thing for me to rank a top 3. But those are probably my top 2. Is there a chocolate one? Still, this is how much
there's like the double chocolate or like chocolate fudge.
It's
right?
a lot of chocolate,
yeah,
man.
It's too much.
It's so much.
Personally, I go s'mores. S'mores would be my 3.
I'm a big s'mores guy.
You know what? I'll join you with the s'mores.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
All right, Steven. Now that we found some common ground there on the Pop-Tarts.
And now that the Pop-Tarts cleared Ravi's mouth, first off. So
I do.
Glad that's taken care of.
Appreciate you buying me some time there. I do have a question about, I'm going to start with Jeremiah Smith here because obviously Ohio State has had an unbelievable run of wide receivers.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah Smith is certainly one of those, right? He is one of the best that we've seen come out of Ohio State or still at Ohio State. I feel like I'm going a little crazy though sometimes because I have a hard time putting him ahead of some of these guys that we've seen be incredibly productive at Ohio State and then go on to the NFL already and be incredibly productive at the NFL level.
Sure.
And like, it seems like the hype train of Jeremiah Smith has sort of gotten away from us a little bit, considering how good so many other Ohio State receivers have been. Am I crazy here?
Yes. I do understand where you're coming from. There is an element of like, okay, have we just talked ourselves into oblivion about this kid that we're almost forgetting that we're talking about a program that, I mean, even if you put aside what's happened the last 6 years here, you go back to Chris Carter, you go back to Terry Glenn, you go back to David Boston, Ted Ginn Jr. Like Jim Tressel was known for Tressel ball, and he had a couple of years there where he had first-round wide receivers with Antonio Holmes, Ted Ginn Jr., Anthony Gonzalez, Michael Jenkins, right? So this is not new to Ohio State, but everything does reach a pinnacle, no matter what subject matter you are talking about. And is he the best route runner? Probably not, but he'd be in your top 3. Is he the fastest? Probably not, but he'd be in your top 3. Is he the biggest? Probably not, but he'd be in your top 3. Does he have the best hands? Probably not, but he'd be in your top 3. It's almost the full conversation of what makes an elite receiver. He's probably the only one of these first rounders. I think it's like 14 different guys who have been a first rounder where you would say, okay, Jeremiah Smith is in the top 3 of whatever the category is. And then when you add in what he's accomplished, how many of those guys have won a national championship? how many of those guys have beaten Michigan, especially along this recent run?
Mm-hmm.
Jackson never beat Michigan. Marvin never beat Michigan. Emeka never beat Michigan. Carnell never beat Michigan. And he's not done. He's like 500 yards and like 35 catches and 7 touchdowns to be the all-time leader in catches, touchdowns, and yards here. It's just the entire full scale of Jeremiah Smith is just going to be too great for any of these other really, really good receivers to even be in the same conversation with him. And I'm saying that respectfully because I got a chance to cover a lot of these guys.
Okay, so I might be having a little like PTSD about Marvin Harrison here because it seems like the last guy we talked about, even close to this praising of, is Marvin Harrison, who again was phenomenal at Ohio State, has not really lived up to that in the NFL to the certain degree. Probably not fair to hold that against him, and certainly not fair to hold Marvin Harrison against Jeremiah Smith. Do you care in terms of this conversation what Jeremiah Smith ends up doing in the NFL? Does that matter to you at all within this conversation?
Not within this conversation.
Okay.
And I know, to be honest with you, what Jackson has turned into in Seattle has maybe pushed him up the rankings for some people in this conversation of who are the best wide receivers to come through Ohio State. But Jackson had 1 year of production at Ohio State. Now, it was a heck of a year in that 1 year, but that's all he has. I don't think what you do in the NFL is not really important to the construct of college conversations. It's almost compared to us. It's like, I don't know, we all went to school here. Your school's job is to get you a job. Now, in their field, it's to get you a job before this guy gets a job, because we make job hiring public via the NFL draft or the NBA draft or whatever pro sport you want to talk about. But what Marvin does once he gets the job is on Marvin in his situation, or Jackson in his situation, or Garrett or Chris or anybody else in their situation. I only personally judge them off of what they did in the 3 to 5 years they were in Columbus. And none of these guys have done what Jeremiah Smith has done so far in his 2 years in Columbus. And I know he's got one more. They have not done the same things. Now, we'll see what JJ does when he is a New York Jet or a Cleveland Brown or a Miami Dolphin or whoever else drafts him. But that's not on Ohio State anymore. Their job is to turn him into a first-round draft pick, and they have successfully done that.
All right, Steven. So talking about the actual team, the full Ohio State Buckeyes that are coming up for this fall, I have some questions and thoughts on the schedule that's coming up. I know that that's been something we've talked about on this show before, but I'm curious the transition at play caller and offensive coordinator from Hartline now to Arthur Smith. And kind of sticking with the receiver topic that you and Ravi were talking about a minute ago, Jeremiah Smith, is there enough confidence that Smith's offensive system is strong enough to be able to utilize the playmakers that Hartline had used so well over the past few years?
I think the interesting thing about Arthur Smith is we all look at his time in Pittsburgh and go, oh, he's just going to play a whole bunch of tight ends, when Ohio State fans are probably sick of playing a whole bunch of tight ends, even though that's where that's where football is. Everybody wants to use a bunch of tight ends. But if you dig a little deeper than that, one thing you notice is Arthur Smith has no problem spamming his best player the ball, whether it's Derrick Henry when he was the OC with the Tennessee Titans, or it was the early years of Drake London when he was a head coach for the Falcons, or it was last year when it was maybe more tight end usage with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that we're going to be talking about why isn't Jeremiah Smith getting the ball enough sometime in October when we're looking at his numbers. But I do think overall the Arthur Smith hire, I think, is a really good hire, and here's why. He's not going to completely come in and revamp the offense. This is still the Ohio State's offense. This is just the first real outside influence Ryan Day is allowing to have on it. And so maybe we see some things we maybe haven't seen in the past. But more importantly, how many other college teams in the country can say that on both sides of the ball they have guys who have been head coaches at NFL teams? And were they successful head coaches? No. Good thing Arthur Smith doesn't have to plan for Myles Garrett. He's got to plan for other college football players. And so I do think there's an element of this should be easier for Arthur Smith. And he's got a veteran offensive line. He's got a veteran quarterback. He's got the best player in the country. He's got 1,000-yard rusher. And Bo Jackson, Isaiah West is also a guy to keep a lookout on. And also I think they're deeper at wide receiver this year. And I know they just lost Carnell Tate to the NFL, but last year their wide receiver room was Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, or bust. And when those guys were going through some injuries, it was real apparent how not great the rest of that room is. There's more confidence, whether it's because maybe you think there's another gear for Brandon Ennis to get to. Devin McEwen maybe taking a step up from UTSA. You bring in Chris Henry Jr., who's the 5-star son of the former NFL player, and a name that everybody who maybe isn't in the Ohio State bubble needs to pay attention to is Brock Boyd. He's a kid out of Texas who is a 3-star recruit who put up all types of numbers at the highest level of high school football in Texas, and he has been blowing it up since the spring. So they have a room of guys of maybe 5 or 6 guys that can play. And yeah, all this is still going to funnel through Jeremiah Smith first, but there's other options other than just one guy to make you go, hey, you have to game plan for that. So you can't just sell out on Jeremiah Smith every play.
Steven, as you're kind of looking at this Ohio State team, obviously national championship aspirations are just a given there every year. What if something doesn't go according to plan? If for some reason it's not a national championship, let's say that it's not even like a semifinal, things don't go the way Ohio State wants or expects them to, what are you looking at as like, hey, here are some potential pitfalls for this team?
So last summer, when coming off a national championship, they lost 8 starters on defense, and that was a very big question mark. And then the season started, and they had Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Caden McDonald, who were all top 40 picks, and 3 of those guys were top 15 picks. And now here we are again later saying the same thing of, well, they lost 8 starters on defense, only this time 2 of them were top 10 picks, another one was a top 15 pick, and another one was a top 40 pick. Can they do that again? Do they have guys waiting in the wing who are, again, as good as the guys who just walked out the door, and maybe even better than walked out the door? Now, if anybody can do it, it's Ohio State, but you still aren't sure until you see it. So you don't want to just jump out the window and say, hey, I know they had an historic defense last year, but they're just going to do that again. So if the defense takes a step back a little bit, maybe that holds them back. But the other 2 things are just you double down on an offensive line that did not look good the last 2 games of the year, right? Miami kind of whipped you like a rag doll a little bit, while Indiana schemed you up in a way you hadn't seen before. And instead of maybe making some changes there, you double down on Austin Saravel, Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman, Phillip Daniels. And so that quartet plus Ian Moore, who's expected to be the starting left tackle this year while Austin Saravel moves in the right guard, they have to take a step. You can't double down on that. And then we're going, well, what if you're wrong and we don't find out until December? That group needs to take the type of step where they're in a competition to be the Joe Moore Award winner at the end of the year, because so much is hinging on what we saw at the end of the year was just a team who was still kind of growing into its own, and from an offensive line standpoint, than a group that is maybe peaked out already. And then the other part is Julian Sand. He also didn't look good the last 2 games, and I think it's fair if you feel like he is only good because of the weapons around him. That can't be true this year. The schedule is too loaded. There's too many good quarterbacks on it, where a lot of these games might come down to whose quarterback played better, whether it's Julian Sand versus Arch Manning, or Julian Sand versus Dante Moore, or Julian Sand versus Jaden Maeva, or Julian Sand versus Bryce Underwood. He can't get outplayed by the other quarterback the way he did the last 2 games. And so he's got to take a step. So I know you asked for one, but it'd be those 3 things. Maybe the defense takes a step back after 2 or 3 monster years in a row. The offensive line is like, oh, they were wrong to double down. Or maybe Julian Sand is good, but he's not elite at a time where you need to be elite as a quarterback to win a championship.
Steven, I know you mentioned a lot of those warts from the last 2 games of the year, but looking back and just kind of dissecting how good those first 12 games of the season were for Ohio State. I mean, they were the most dominant team in the country through most of the stretch. They were winning games. I remember that Illinois game, especially, just even if the final box score wasn't 49-0, they dominated that game. There was no chance that they were giving up any semblance of an offensive rhythm to Illinois. Did you notice through those first 12 that there were warts on this team already, or did they really only truly come out in those final 2 games that now, as you mentioned, have a lot of concern for Ohio State fans?
Yeah, that's the thing. Ryan Day has 12 losses in his career, and a lot of times you could see each of those 12 losses coming, maybe 3 or 4 games before you actually got to the loss. I think it's hard because their schedule just didn't turn out to be what you thought it was. Texas wasn't quite what people thought they were going to be. Arch wasn't quite what you thought he was going to be. Illinois wasn't quite what people thought they could be, right? Penn State, I mean, that just fell apart after they lost to Oregon. The floor finally fell from under James Franklin there. And then Michigan, as we all know, had a million off the field issues apparently going on that along with the fact that they were a very young football team. And so they weren't tested, but at the same time, they were that much better than everybody else. I think it's a combination of the two. They didn't play the strongest schedule, but they were also, it's still, in my opinion, I think the best team in college football. The difference is because they didn't have to prove it until they got to Indianapolis, they weren't ready for a team to punch back. And Indiana, who I am, again, these were the top 2 teams in the country, in my opinion. They had played in some games that year. Yeah, they had blown out Illinois, but Penn State pushed them a little bit. They had a couple other games. Oregon had pushed them a little bit. And so they had a chance to maybe build up some calluses to where you go into the fourth quarter and it's still a game. And you're not going, wait, why this is still a game? Because how many games that we watched from Ohio State last year where you get to the fourth quarter and you're already checked out because they're already up by 21 points? That just was the case for Ohio State up until they got to Indiana and they didn't know how to handle it. And then they didn't respond well when Miami jumped on them in the first quarter. And so I think this schedule is crazy in comparison to last year, but I also think this year's schedule might prepare them a little bit better where we're not going to be looking back at the end of the season and saying, man, this was a really good team, but a lot of talent got wasted, but wasn't wasted because they never got challenged. And by the time they got challenged, it was too late for them to make any adjustments about it.
Steven, I'm fascinated by the dynamic of the whole. You brought up Indiana, so I want to ask about Curt Cignetti here for a second, because in Nebraska, we look at Curt Cignetti as, why can't we find the guy that can turn us around like that, right? And I go, well, he's a unicorn. Literally no one's ever done what he's done, so I'm not really sure what you want here. And if you hire a JMU coach at Nebraska, we would have rioted. So let's just be real about that. How is he processed from an Ohio State viewpoint, where he's basically just come in and started taking your things, or tried to, in terms of supremacy in the Big Ten at a school where you're not used to them trying to take your stuff? Like, how does that get processed by Ohio State fans? Because I have to imagine it's very different than how we process it here in Nebraska.
Yeah, it's always from where you don't expect it. And I think Ohio State's not new to this. I think there was a time when the 4-team playoff started and it was Urban Meyer at Ohio State and Nick Saban at Alabama, where you just thought, okay, well, here we go. We're going to have the next decade of those two. And then here comes old Dabo Swinney to interrupt everybody's plans. And they had a moment there, and now it feels like that moment is kind of over, and partially because Dabo Swinney doesn't know how to adapt with where the times are now. But that's what happened then. It was supposed to be Ohio State and Bama. It ended up being Alabama and Clemson for all those years. And I do think there are some elements at play there with Indiana of, hey, once again, you're expecting in the Big Ten for it to be, okay, well, Oregon's the new team in the Big Ten, so Ryan Day and Dan Lanning are going to do this dance for who knows how long, and then here comes Curt Cignetti to interrupt all of that and get in the way and have a 16-0 regular season. I don't know what to make of Curt Cignetti yet, and I don't think the fans do yet, because right now it's so new and so extreme and so just like, well, this is a really unique situation. Is this sustainable? And I think if you're an Ohio State fan, you're still wanting to see if this is sustainable, which is why this game this year is so important. Because when they played in Columbus in 2024, they were building something, but I think we all looked at Indiana and said, yeah, good season, but you're going to get on the field with someone who's really like that, and it's just not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And it played out that way with when they played Ohio State, and then later on in that year when they played Notre Dame. And so last year, nobody believed it still. And by the time you believed it, it was kind of too late, right? They had already made the run. They had beaten Ohio State barely. They'd blown out Alabama, and then they went on to win the national championship. I think this is an interesting year for Curt Cignetti through the eyes of maybe the national perspective, but also the Ohio State perspective of, okay, a lot of those JMU guys, a lot of those 23-year-olds you were playing with that you brought with you when you came to Indiana, a lot of those guys are gone. Well, at least we thought they were, except apparently some of those guys were just waiting on a court hearing so they could play football again this year. But a lot of those guys are now gone. And so the question you always have with someone who pops up like this is, can you sustain it, or did you just have a moment? And I think once we get to that Ohio State-Indiana game in Bloomington, that's going to be the biggest game that Bloomington's ever seen. So if Ohio State goes in there and they win that game and it's a pretty handily win, it's going to be like, okay, well, Curt Cignetti had a good couple of years. Maybe they make a few more playoffs, but they're still not on the same level as Ohio State. But if that's a game, or more importantly, Indiana wins that game, as Ohio State fans, you're going to go, okay, now you have my attention, because you're not just this little dude who came in and stole one thing. Now you are a threat. And until you are a threat, I don't think Ohio State fans really worry that much about you. They're still worried about beating Michigan and winning Big Ten titles.
Stephen, for this upcoming season, just because of the schedule talk and maybe some of the changes, everything that you mentioned, is there an acceptable floor for where the season can end? Because obviously missing the college football playoff, losing to Michigan, those are, unacceptable in any terms for Ohio State fans and the program standard itself, even within the walls. But is there an amount of losses? Is there a position in the college football playoff that even the fan base would go, you know what, it was a tough year, but we got to where we wanted to be?
10-2 and beat Michigan. I think everybody will be okay. I think that 24 and the way that played out allowed people to maybe start to evolve their thought process, because the standard at Ohio State has always been beat Michigan, win the Big Ten, win the national title. But for a long time, you had to do those things in that order, right? You couldn't win the national championship unless you had won the Big Ten. Well, you can't even get to the Big Ten championship game unless you play Michigan. And because they lost to Michigan in 24, still made the playoff, and then went on the run they went on, I think people's opinions started to change. And then last year, the fact that they lost the Big Ten championship game, and yeah, if you're going to play in it, you'd want to win that game. But it was like, okay, well, then just go play them in the national championship and you'll be fine. I think 10-2, because it's such a hard schedule that I don't think you could ever expect anybody to go 12-0. It just has to play out that way, and then you're maybe in hindsight happy about it or upset about it that it didn't happen. But if they go 10-2, which means you dropped a couple of good games to some good teams on your schedule, most importantly, you beat Michigan, and then you're in the playoff and you're positioned to win a national title, I think most fans will be okay with that. You start talking 9-3 or losing to Michigan or not making the playoff, that's when you're going to start losing fans.
Speaking of Michigan, Stephen, I am a huge Kyle Whittingham fan, just have been for a really long time. What is the level of concern, I guess, that Michigan has pretty clearly upgraded their head coach and I would say coaching staff in general from whatever the hell the Sharon Moore era was?
What a fun time in Michigan.
I mean, probably not bad for you guys, right? Like you had to enjoy the dumpster fire a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say part of Ohio State fans wishes Sharon Moore was like a lifetime contract coach for Michigan.
Absolutely. There's also that element of Connor Stallions happen. I think that there's been we love watching it burn, but somehow the fire keeps coming over our house. Contain your fire to just your house. He's a better coach than Sharon Moore. Yes, absolutely. Because at bare minimum, things will be functional and you won't be hearing he says famous last words. You won't be hearing stories of secretaries or interns taking trips to other schools, and you won't have any of that nonsense. It'll just be a normal professional program the way it needs to be. I think fans are intrigued to see if he is an actual threat or not. Are you here to make sure nothing else burns while you clean up your house? Or are you here because Michigan had a young roster, a young talented quarterback, and if you give him structure and if you give him the environment he needs, there's a championship window out there for you to go attain, whether it's this year or it's next year when Bryce Underwood is a third-year starting quarterback in his junior season of college football. I think we don't know the answer to that yet. I think it's interesting to see how Kyle Whittingham is going to handle the Ohio State-Michigan game, because his predecessors were completely fueled by emotion and eventually had some success with it. Urban Meyer was fueled by emotion and had total domination of it. Ryan Day was fueled by emotion in the early years of it, and it didn't really do him any good. And so he kind of changed his tone around it, and he started to have success. And Kyle Whittingham seems to be in the same camp as Ryan Day of, I can't go full throttle that way because I'm going to lose focus and we're going to lose this football game. But does that work for Michigan? Or does Michigan need to do the extra stuff and bring Ohio State down in the mud with it in order to win a game like that? Because that's kind of, it's such the whole point of that game is it's a contrast of styles, it's a contrast of culture, it's a contrast of every way of life when you're talking Columbus, when you're talking Ann Arbor. So I think intrigue, but let's see how Michigan does against Oklahoma and the rest of their schedule before Ohio State's fans start worrying about Michigan in a way that's any further than just how is Ohio State going to handle the emotions of it all.
Steven, last question from me. Just obviously based on the Nebraska of it all being here in the state, I'm curious what Ohio State fans think of that second to last game of the season on the road in Lincoln. I don't know what their evaluation of where Nebraska stands, but because the schedule is so difficult, it's the week before the Michigan game. Do they see that as kind of a sleeper game, or is it one of those that, again, it's the logo looks better than what the team actually is?
Both a little bit. I think Ohio State's history of going on the road the week before Michigan comes to town over the last 7 years hasn't always been great. They can kind of mess around a little bit. Now, Maryland's often been the beneficiary of that and being able to play in some fourth-quarter games. You remember the 2018 game where it came down to a 2-point conversion. The 2022 game was sort of like that. I'm trying to 2024, not so much because it was a top 5 matchup when Indiana came to town. But there have been some matchups in recent history of Ohio State went on the road the week before it played Michigan, and it maybe didn't bring its best stuff. And so you look up and it's the middle of the third quarter and it's a 17-14 game. And we're all going, all right, man, what are you doing? Don't let this get weird and let Nebraska or whoever else the team is in a given week mess around. And this year just so happens to be Nebraska. Listen, obviously Nebraska's in a very weird place right now, trying to move on from the Dylan Raiola era and very quickly get on to Trey Taylor when he gets here in January. But I do think that if Nebraska wants to catch Ohio State sleeping and maybe make this more interesting, even if it still ends in a loss, I do think there's a possibility that is out there because, again, Ohio State's October and late September are very much crazy. And so to come up from air for that and get Northwestern and Nebraska, it's very easy for Ohio State, a bunch of 19 to 21-year-olds, to take their foot off the gas because they're just trying to get through it and get to Michigan. And so I do think there will be an element of, are they just trying to get healthy? Are their minds somewhere else? And because of that, maybe this is a closer game than you would anticipate it being given the talent level of these two programs right now.
Okay, I promise. Last one, because there's some bit of folklore that always comes between the past few matchups that Nebraska has played Ohio State, because they have played them really well, whether it's been in Columbus or a couple of different times when they've had opportunities, back to 21 when they played in Lincoln as well. Is that something that Ohio State fans notice, either just specifically with Nebraska, or is it just one of those where Ohio State's used to getting the best from some of the teams that are below them in the conference?
I mean, you can go back to 2018, coming off that Purdue loss when Adrian Martinez almost put the fear of God in Urban Meyer. Right? Right now, the answer would be no, but I guess ask me that question the week we get to Nebraska week and we're all going, hey, this has been weird here for a couple of years. Because that's the thing. The Nebraska games in recent history have been circled around other important things that have happened, right? In 2018, that was 2 weeks after the Purdue loss, and Ohio State was trying to fix itself. In 2024, that was 2 weeks after the Oregon loss, and Ohio State was trying to fix itself. This is not going to be, it might be, I don't know how the schedule is going to play out, but this is going to be, 7 days before the Michigan game. And so could it be weird? Right. And I think because of what Nebraska's placement on the schedule, there's a chance for this to get weird. But I don't think anybody's thinking about that right now. I think right now everybody's just so focused on Texas that we're not even thinking about Ball State right now. But if we get to that week, depending on what Ohio State's record is, there could be a conversation of like, hey, I understand everybody around here is trying to get to Michigan, but don't forget, Nebraska is very good at taking advantage of this thing is weird around Ohio State right now. And at least, putting a little fear in you for 4 quarters and making you play honest.
For what it's worth, 2 weeks before Nebraska this year is Oregon once again.
Yeah.
So
classic.
I'm just, things might be weird. To your point, things might be a little weird.
Yeah.
Steven, phenomenal stuff. Really appreciate the time. Hopefully we can chat again soon. That was great.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
That is Steven Means from Cleveland.com covering Ohio State. We'll be right back with Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I want to say T, but at the same time, I think people know her skill level. Like, they know she's good. But I think it'll be cool to like see her be able to be out there and like hopefully do all of it, you know? So I don't know. I think she's been getting so much stronger. Like when we're in the weight room, I'm baffled by what she can do. So she puts in that work. So I'm excited to see how she does this year and what comes out of it for her.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
I think it's been all of them. I think, I've had very few distractions, less so than everyone before. And, I think the days of having that one guy that gets up and gives a speech that gets everyone fired up are probably less. I think, nowadays it's probably more, and I think as a leader, you have to be willing to lead and be led. If Jameer Khan and Owen Stoudemire in the weight room, and they're trying to bench 400, Owen's probably going to, implore Jameer. If they go out and run gassers, that's probably a little bit more Jameer and say, come on, Owen. I think that's true leadership, is when we're all pushing ourselves to meet a standard, exceed the standard, and set a new standard. And so I've seen a lot of that diffused leadership, while at the same time, guys not being afraid to hold each other accountable and tell each other. And that's the secret sauce. Sometimes you get, old coaches, old players up here, and they say, in my day, we did this. It's not always the way it was, number one. And number two, it's just a different world. Most players want to lead by performance, but I see all kinds of positive signs of guys holding each other accountable, and, everything from run off the field, to run to the ball, to dominant contact, to make plays.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, how we doing this morning?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Doing good, Mitch. We started the show talking Pop-Tarts and toaster strudels. Do you have an opinion on either?
Pop-Tarts are fine. Don't know that I have a lot of history with toaster. Well, I mean, are you saying that Pop-Tarts are a toaster strudel? Is that the
Oh, no. They're two very different things, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't think you could put them in the same category.
I don't know that I'm sure I've had one at some point, but I don't have an opinion on toaster strudels. Sorry, I can't help you there. Pop-Tarts are fine. I don't generally consume them, but if if given the chance, yeah, sure. All of you.
Are you not a grab and go breakfast guy? Do you always have like a full plan when it comes to that?
No, I am grab and go.
Hmm.
But it's more like a yogurt or sometimes I'll sit down and have
Ravi
some
hated the
oatmeal.
yogurt comment.
Hate yogurt. Hate yogurt. Okay. What about a breakfast sandwich? Maybe like on a weekend day.
Yeah.
I can go for that. Try not to do that every day, but I'm not spending a lot of time. Like if you don't like yogurt, I'm wondering how you feel about oatmeal in the microwave. Probably not your thing. You don't like
Oatmeal
that
better than
consistency?
yogurt.
Right.
Although I'll be
I
honest,
can go both those directions.
I'm not a huge. For some reason, the like cold consistency of yogurt really bothers me. I was a big cream of wheat guy growing up. I like grits quite a bit. Oatmeal is my least favorite of that category, but it's okay.
I can just have some fruit. I can get by on fruit for breakfast any day. You just cut up some cantaloupe and pineapple and grapes or berries for me, and I'm probably going to be good.
I do think we need to stop the overgeneralization that breakfast sandwiches are like a unique like weekend, or we should just eat breakfast sandwiches every day. I think that they're too good to leave at home. They're too good for only 2 days out of the week. Let's just start making breakfast sandwiches and just have them on the regular. But I hear you, Mitch, because every time that I get one or I pick one up from somewhere, if I'm running late, I'm like, oh, this is a decadence. Like I spent some money on this thing.
Well, I mean, as you get older, Austin, like you some certain things. Some certain things become more difficult to maintain, and eating a breakfast sandwich 5 times a week is not going to help me in my in my goals to live a long and healthy life.
Well, Mitch, it's I told Ravi this a while back, but I had my first bout of like real heartburn, and when that feeling comes up, like I was like, oh, I can't be doing what I've been doing for the past 20 years of my life.
You're not even scratching the surface.
I told him he's just a pup. He's just a pup. He doesn't even know yet.
Okay, Mitch. Speaking on adult conversations, I thought that the Troy Dannon on the Husker Radio Network last night was very open and telling. I know Tom Chattel had an article from the Omaha World Herald with him as well. I was curious your thoughts just in general. I know that we could dive into so many different things that he talked about, but I hate starting it this way, but I feel like this is where I want to begin. When it comes to the sellout streak, how this is being approached, kind of the sales mini that it's been a little bit more over this past year, it feels like, especially from the way that he talked about it last night, that Dannon is kind of trying to be the adult in the room and not the homer that we've kind of had before, where he's saying, listen, if things come to an end, it comes to an end, but we are going to try to do what we can. What's your vibe on where he stands with how the sellout streak is going and their push to try to obviously fill the stadium and make some money off of it, but being realistic about the future of it?
Yeah, I talked to Troy about the sellout streak in Chicago last month at Big Ten Media Days, and he said, other than money, and you make more money selling more tickets, although they want to be deliberate about the way that they sell tickets and not offload tickets to a third party to a reseller, to SeatGeek. They want to make the money themselves. So aside from the making money being the number one, well, it depends on your perspective, but Troy is about bringing in money for the department. So it is, if not the most important part of the sellout streak, it is a huge part of the sellout streak. Aside from that, his take on it and what he told me is that it's a psychological edge for Nebraska. It's something for the fans and the program to be able to be proud about. Beyond that, there's not a tremendous amount of value. I mean, we all know that the stadium is not entirely full every Saturday anyway, so it's not like you're looking up at, people say this, you hear it from players every year. Oh, there's 85,000 people in the stadium. No, there's not. I mean, there's maybe 70,000 people in the stadium for some games, or even less than that. But you do have that number up there on the wall, and you can flip it, and you can to the next game, and you can say, hey, we've done this since 1962. That's a psychological edge. I think there's more to it than that. I think that there's negativity that would, additional negativity that would fall upon Nebraska if the streak ends, and it's evidence for some detractors of the program that everything from Nebraska's championship era is gone, or another key piece of things that propped up the program or things that the program were fans of the program were proud of is no longer. But yeah, from Dannon's point of view, it's a business, and he's very blunt about the need for Nebraska to make money, and the sellout streak is another piece in that puzzle.
Mitch, do you think if it came to the point where it looked like the sellout streak was going to end, that they would almost do it? I don't know if intentionally is the right word, but like try and make it a thing where it's like, hey, this is on our terms. This is almost a ceremonial type thing, or is it just, hey, because it seems like a bad look if they're just like, oh, we just couldn't sell the tickets.
Mm-hmm. If it's inevitable, let's say you get to a game, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen in September, but at some point in a future year, or maybe it's this year because of the way the season's going. I don't expect it to be that kind of a season where the streak is just going to die because there's not interest in coming to games. It's a different subject. What kind of a team is Nebraska going to have this year? We spent, of course, a lot of August, going over all aspects of that. But yeah, if it gets to a situation in a game week where Nebraska's got 6,000 tickets left and it's clear that it's just not going to happen organically, I don't think that they'll take life-saving measures. I don't think that they will. If it's 1,000 tickets, yes, but if it's 5,000 or 6,000, I don't think that they will do some of the things that have happened maybe once or twice in the past, where a donor buys them all up for a low price. I do think that they would, within reason, let the streak end, but I don't really think Nebraska's going to be in that spot this year. I don't anticipate that. If they are, then, and it's a big number that they've got to sell in the final days, then what you're hinting at, what you're suggesting, Ravi, where they celebrate the streak instead of wallowing in the reality that it's over, would be probably the way to go, and something a path I think they would choose.
All right, last question about the streak, and then we can move on to actual football things, I promise. I do wonder, there's been a lot of talk about certain things from Nebraska's past, maybe holding it back in terms of people trying to either go back to where Nebraska's been and not really being able to move forward. Like, is there any part of you that's just like, hey, like, if this is the last thing that goes so Nebraska can be free of the weight of the past, like maybe that's a positive thing in a certain way?
I think you can look at it that way. I don't know that I really subscribe to that, because I don't think tangibly on the field or in the locker room or whatever they're doing at practice, or even how they're strategizing the football part of it, has anything to do with the sellout streak. I just don't. I mean, does it come up in their marketing meetings and their ticket meetings, athletic department, business? Sure. Does that affect Matt Rule day to day? No. So I don't think that it necessarily is something that the players are walking around feeling pressure because of. Maybe they could get to that spot in a year. Maybe I don't mean in 12 months. I mean, like, in this season. It isn't impossible that because of how the team plays that it couldn't become something that is a weight on the players. I don't really think it is right now. I think if you ask the players today about their thoughts on the streak or how much they think about it, it's much more something that fans and media get into conversation about than it's just, I don't think it factors for the players.
Mitch, as we pivot and talk about the upcoming season and everything, have you taken time this year? Is it as simple as wins and losses, or is there a checklist for improvement and or success? Maybe those are on the same boat, same tally, same paper that you're making, of what improvement looks like for Nebraska football this upcoming season.
Yeah, I don't have like something written out or something scribbled in my notes in my phone, or it's not even really in my head. It's more like, I think you'll recognize it when you see it, what a better team looks like, what improvement looks like. I mean, I could definitely come up with a list, and it would probably start with the end of games and the end of the season. So they've had this mantra before. I'm not in any way breaking new ground by saying Nebraska needs to be a better as a program or as a team in 2026 at finishing the season and finishing off games, finishing off opponents. I mean, how many times have we seen Nebraska, even in games that it won, have the inability to put a team away and a game should be over, early in the third quarter. And instead it comes down to the final possession or two in the fourth. Like, those are the things that I think that separate an average program from a good one, is the ability to take some stress off of yourself. And I think it pays off in subsequent games, with players gaining more experience, players down the depth chart gaining more experience. Maybe it's somebody who you need because of an injury 3 weeks later, who has the experience to step into a moment because that player got into a game for the entire fourth quarter against North Dakota or Bowling Green or Maryland. And if you're toying with those opponents, if you're letting them hang around, that player doesn't have that experience. So to me, it primarily comes down to that. Something that I think I will know when I see it, but no, I don't have a bunch of criteria scrawled out here heading into week one.
Mitch, when you're looking at experience and kind of what you're talking about there, in particular with quarterbacks, right? We've talked a lot about how the experience of the quarterback room is a strength and how all these guys have started at Power 4 schools, at least briefly. How much do you think actually matters to you in the sense of wins and losses? Or is it really just like, hey, Anthony Calandria needs to be that guy, otherwise the season probably isn't going to go the way Nebraska wants it to?
Yeah, I mean, explain again to me what you were asking. Sorry, I was looking at some of the news that was coming out on the Big Ten right now, juggling multiple things with the Big Ten saying that it's not going to allow NFL players to come into the league.
Wow, what a novel concept
there.
And we will definitely.
You were asking about Calandria, and what are you looking for here?
So you were talking about kind of the experience of
getting
some guys reps in different games and things like that. One of the things we've talked about with the quarterback room is how lucky Nebraska is to have guys that have starting experience as backups and even as the third stringer with or however the backup situation works out between Kalen and TJ Lateef. How much do you think that is actually going to matter in terms of Nebraska's win-losses, or is it just hey, Calandria better be that guy?
I think Calandria better be the guy, but we've seen what happens, especially when you have a quarterback out there who puts his body on the line. They all do, but if he's a part of the running game, then he's going to be in position to get hit more often than a quarterback who stays in the pocket. And I think it's more likely that he misses time because of an injury. So I think it's important. I think if let's say TJ Lateef would have made the decision to move on because Nebraska decided to go out and get a veteran quarterback. Once it very well could have happened. And it's happened numerous times around the country, just in the last year, in every transfer cycle. If TJ had moved on and Nebraska still gets Danny Kalen, I think I feel much differently about the quarterback spot heading into the season. So that kind of answers the question. Yeah, I do think it matters. I mean, the hope going in is that Lateef is going to play in games when you have them, when they're decided. And that Calandria holds on to that number one spot, firm grip, stays healthy, plays the entire season. Like, I don't think that there's anybody in the Nebraska football hierarchy who doesn't wish for that. But the reality is that's somewhat unlikely, probably less than 50% that you're not going to need your backup at some point. So I think it matters. I think it matters that they have two and not just one who have experience playing in important moments.
Mitch, talking more a little bit about that experience, I think that this has been a hot button statistic that's come out, especially from Big Ten media days, because it felt like it was plastered on Nebraska quite a bit, was the amount of the percentage of returning production and the amount of experience snaps and the amount of plays that people have played. At what point in the season does the experience no longer benefit you? And not in the sense that, experience doesn't help you over time, but at what point does it become more of a neutral stance with the opponents you're facing?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I hadn't really thought much about that part of it. But yeah, when you get later into the year, you get into the second half of the year. I think when you get past probably the middle of October and players have 7 or 8 games under their belt, then it doesn't matter as much. There you can make a lot of it right now. And I went over the list that The Athletic published on Monday, the article written by David Ubben and Sam Kahn that lists Nebraska as the 16th most experienced team in the country. And it's fascinating to see the number of snaps and the number of starts, the number of games, and you see Iowa at number 68 and think, wow, how much of a, and that's last in the Power Four, how much of a benefit or how much of a disadvantage does that put Iowa at? It's not really what I think about when I think of recent Iowa teams. Generally they're loaded up with veteran players because they've developed players in the program. But the fact is that Iowa doesn't rely as much on the transfer portal. So even the players that it brings in, there's just not as many of them. And the players that they're moving up the ladder, like they haven't played as much because they've been backups. And Iowa has a system where these guys get work in practice and would probably be at the top of the country if you were charting practice reps at the school that the player attends. But that's not how that thing works. Once you get to November, when Nebraska plays Iowa, it doesn't matter as much because the most important experience is the experience that those players have this year in 2026. And everybody is conceivably going to be about the same by the time you get to Thanksgiving when they play.
Mitch, I do want to get to the announcement from the Big Ten that they have made a rule on the eligibility, at least in their conference, of players that have either not withdrawn from the NFL draft, signed a contract, or played in any NFL games. Obviously, a little bit of a departure from what we saw from the SEC, who put out a stern statement, but fell short of making any type of rule. Just how do you process how each of these conferences chose to handle this situation? And do you think more teams or more conferences will follow the Big Ten's lead here?
Yeah, I think this is something that's going to be quickly remedied in college football. I don't think we're moving toward a place where it's got to be one or the other, right? You either need to shut this down and have no availability of NFL players, professional players, players who have declared for the draft, who have been drafted, who have been in an NFL camp. You either have to have none of this, it's against the rules, or it's going to be widespread. I don't think it's going to be a conference by conference thing, despite where we're sitting right here at this moment at 9:20 on August 25th. Like eventually, and probably very soon, something is going to be drawn up, not just across conferences, but across college football, that prevents LSU from recruiting off the practice squad of the Cleveland Browns. Every month in this sport, we get something that seems more outrageous and more just impossible to believe. The stuff with Brendan Sorsby being cleared after betting on his own team early this summer seemed like it was something that could never be topped. And right now we're talking about something that's perhaps even more wild than that. I don't know. Depends on your perspective. It seems like it because this is new information that's just kind of gotten into our brains this week. But much like the Sorsby thing, my thought on that when it happened is like, there's just no way. Like there's just too much resistance. There's too much pushback. There's no possible way that he's going to suit up for Texas Tech, despite all of the screaming that was going on that this is going to be so unfair or so it's going to break college football. And very quickly, like that situation was, put in its proper place. That's what I think happens here. And that this is a step that the Big Ten is reportedly taking this morning that starts to get things in the order that they should be.
Mitch, I'm glad you brought up Sorsby there, because I was curious if you thought that I know there wasn't an official ruling before Sorsby sort of eliminated himself from the equation there, but it seemed like the Big 12's stance of this violating conference rules sort of precipitated that resolving itself more quickly. Do you think their sort of quote unquote victory there has given a pathway toward these other conferences to be like, hey, the NCAA might not be able to do anything, but you choose to be a member of these conferences and you have to follow our rules. And we think judges are going to hold these up.
Well, I don't know if judges are going to hold him up. I mean, the judge is who opened things up for Sorsby, and the judge in Louisiana is who opened things up for Daquan Wright and others to come back from the NFL to college football, and you see it in college basketball too. So, it seems like you can probably find a judge if you go to the right state and the right jurisdiction who's going to agree with whatever it is that some player or team is arguing for. But it doesn't prevent the conferences from saying, look, you can't do this. And if you do it, then you're going to have to forfeit the game that player plays in. Like, I don't know what the legal reach of something like that is, if you could overturn a forfeit, but I just think like there's too much, like this is too one-sided. Some of these arguments that we're now getting, Sorsby early in the summer, and now this one late in the summer about pro players coming back to college. Like it's like one or two schools over here and then 130 of them over here. And I just don't see how long-term the schools in the minority win those arguments and like get over on this and eventually allow it to be something that happens widespread. I don't think so.
Mitch, on kind of that same note that you just talked about, if LSU has some success with this and they're able to get their NFL players into the camps and they are able to play and they have some success over the season, do you think that more strongly discourages other programs and conferences and says, hey, no, we're not going to be doing this, like this is completely against our philosophy or our fabric of the sport? Or do you think it actually encourages more people to say, listen, if they did it and it's successful and they win, why not us? We should just follow suit.
It could go either way. I think it would still. I think it would outrage people. It would outrage the leaders in conferences and people around at other conferences even more. I'm sure there would be factions within every university that says, "Hey, they're doing it. They're cheating, whatever your definition of that is. So like we should do it too." But again, I think the majority will side against them and not get swayed to go join that party just because it's producing results for LSU or whoever it might be.
Why is it always LSU, Mitch? Why is it always LSU?
Well, we were saying, why is it always Texas Tech a couple of months ago?
Yeah, that's true.
Now it's Lane Kiffin seems like he wants to push the envelope on literally everything, from the way that he changes jobs to now just like anything that he can. This is like maybe a match that people wanted to see, Lane Kiffin and LSU, and now that they're matched and like they're starting to concoct their plans moving forward. It's like be careful what you wish for.
All right, Mitch. Before we let you go, I'm curious just because you've been doing this for a while, and we'll obviously talk with you again once the season gets rolling and everything. But do you have a favorite tradition of this time of year for fall camp for Nebraska coverages? Is it the smell of Valentino's pizza? Is it anything like that you look forward to just at this time of year?
I look forward to the first game where you just have that chill in the air. And sometimes that doesn't happen until October, but I hope it's like week 2 or week 3 this year where I'm walking up to a game or I'm leaving my house to go to a game and I need to go back inside and get my jacket, because that tells me that the season is getting good.
Mitch, last thing here for me. I know that you do attend quite a few high school games as well over the course of the season. How much are you interested in just seeing the sort of spectacle of the Trey Taylor experience throughout the high school season? It's a completely unprecedented sort of situation here in Nebraska high school football.
Very interested. And there have been great quarterbacks before. You had one in his shoes a year ago with Jet Tamala at Millard South, and this is different just in the sense that he's a Nebraska commit. And I think there are more people who are interested because of that, and because of the new factor that it's a player who's ranked, first of all, ranked number 1 in the country at his position and the MVP of the Elite 11, but also that he transferred in from Chicago. Like it's a whole perfect storm of just newness. And yeah, I'm really interested to see what it looks like on Friday night at Buell Stadium. I will go. I will be there just to take that in and maybe write something about it. But I'm as curious as I've ever been for like what a environment might might look like in high school football in this state.
How many Gretna games are you willing to miss for some Trey Taylor high school experiences?
Well, I'm a Gretna East guy now, so the district has been split. So support the Dragons, but my heart is with the Griffins. I'm not going to see the Griffins on Friday night there at Norris. My son is a student there and a baseball player at Gretna East, so I'm not missing his game, but I am missing his team's game, so his school's game. That's fine. I will likely see them a week down the road on September 4th at home, and I'm sure I'll make it to a Dragons game here or there as well.
All right.
That's Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, appreciate the time. As always, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mitch.
That is Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. I do think there's a pretty interesting distinction, at least for me, between Jet and Trey, besides the Nebraska commitment of it all. And it, like, Jet always felt like an underdog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, we saw him come up and not get the offers as soon as we thought he should.
Mm-hmm. He was also the guy that
came late.
And he was also the guy who knocked off Westside, and he was all that other stuff. Yeah, too. It was always him climbing the ladder.
Yes.
And then when he,
like,
weirdly
we saw
enough,
Jet climb.
Weirdly enough, when he was at the top, it was almost uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because we were like, this isn't usually where we see Jet.
We were so used to him being the underdog. And I remember sitting here after his sophomore year, be like, why isn't anybody talking about, like, this dude's 6'5", he's a great quarterback. Why doesn't he have offers? Like, I was very confused about it. And I feel like we watched him climb the ladder, whereas Trey just sort of landed here as this finished prodigy, sort of.
Yeah.
And it just feels very different to me, even outside of the Nebraska versus Alabama commitment of it all. I don't know.
Does
that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're putting.
I think Trey, we just see as a different thing, even though their rankings ended up being very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let's take a quick break here. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live right after this.
I want to say T, but at the same time, I think like people know her skill level. Like they know she's good, but I think it'll be cool to like see her be able to be out there and like hopefully do all of it, you know? So I don't know. I think she's been getting so much stronger. Like when we're in the weight room, I'm baffled by what she can do. So she puts in that work. So I'm excited to see how she does this year and what comes out of it for her.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
think it's been all of them. I think, I've had very few distractions, less so than everyone before. And, I think the days of having that one guy that gets up and gives a speech that gets everyone fired up are probably less. I think, nowadays it's probably more, and I think as a leader, you have to be willing to lead and be led. If Jameer Khan and Owen Stallmeyer in the weight room, and they're trying to bench 400, Owen's probably going to, implore Jameer. If they go out and run gassers, that's probably a little bit more Jameer and say, come on, Owen. I think that's true leadership, is when we're all pushing ourselves to meet a standard, exceed the standard, and set a new standard. And so I've seen a lot of that diffused leadership, while at the same time, guys not being afraid to hold each other accountable and tell each other. And that's the secret sauce. Sometimes you get, old coaches, old players up here, and they say, "In my day, we did this." It's not always the way it was. Number one, and number two, it's just a different world. Most players want to lead by performance, but I see all kinds of positive signs of guys holding each other accountable, and everything from run off the field, to run to the ball, to dominant contact, to make plays.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Gary Dolphin, the play-by-play voice of the Iowa Hawkeyes, as we finish up Nebraska's schedule and our preview here.
Hitting 2 in a day.
2 in a day. We got games next week. We got to get going. It is time to talk to Gary Dolphin. Gary, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing good, guys. Good morning. Good to be with you as always.
Good to see you, Gary. How is everything in Iowa City in Hawkeye Land? Everything going well?
Yeah, was there, last night or yesterday, I should say, they had the annual Chris Street Memorial golf outing, celebration of course, Chris's life, one of the greatest basketball players in the history of Iowa hoops, taken from us way too soon in 1993 in a tragic car accident in Iowa City. But so that signals to me it's always about the same time. Football's just a couple weeks away, but we had another sold out house at that event. So raised a lot of money for the Memorial Scholarship Fund, and now we can focus solely on football. Although I will tell you what Ben McCullum did in his first year. And what the Iowa women have done consistently for a number of years. A lot of people want to talk basketball around here. I don't blame them.
I was going to say it is a great time in the Iowa athletic department with all of the success they've had. You mentioned I was a big Ben McCollum fan in some of his previous stops. So as a Nebraska guy, I was a little disappointed that Iowa hired him, but we will survive, I'm sure. Gary, as you get ready for football season here, obviously – I think the thing that comes to a lot of people's minds with Iowa is, what is the quarterback situation going to look like? And while that narrative has taken some legs this year, maybe more than in the last few, I also remind myself that a lot of times it doesn't necessarily matter that much what the quarterback situation looks like at Iowa. How much are you naturally interested because it is the quarterback versus, hey, like Kirk Ferentz has figured this thing out quite a few times without stellar or even adequate quarterback play?
It's interesting that the quarterback position seemingly leads off Iowa football every year from a program that runs the football consistently well, or has under Coach Ferentz, and that's what he wants to do, establish the run. And then, of course, the great tight ends that they've had historically who block first and pass catch second. There's a few exceptions like Dallas Clark and TJ Hawkinson and folks of that, Sam Laporta perhaps, but they're all great blockers. And then we circle back to the quarterback, and the theory used to be just turn around, hand the ball off, or throw that short dump pass. Just don't turn it over. However, with Mark Gronowski gone now, and he made such an impression with the program last year, 13 rushing touchdowns. That now it's not a vacant position, but it's drawn more attention for other reasons because of Tim Lester. He is more of a wide open offensive coordinator. This is his third year now at the helm, and so Everybody's anxious and excited because after 3 years now, Coach Lester has the quarterback room filled with his guys, his kind of quarterbacks. Now, the two that are battling for the number one spot, and I think, honestly, not to duck the question, I think it'll come right down to the opening day against Northern Illinois. You have Hank Brown, the Auburn transfer, and Jeremy Hecklinski, who came in from Wake Forest. Both have been here now 2 years, practicing the Lester theory, the Lester system, and yet they're polar opposites in terms of style. Hecklinski maybe 6'2", loves to get out on the edge and run and then throw. That's more Lester's style of play. You know, he comes from the NFL. It's not a run and shoot by any means, and then you have 6'5" Hank Brown, who's really got some skill. He's not a statue, but he's more of a stationary pocket quarterback who can get out, and he has some escapability. But honestly, we don't want Hank running with the football. And in either case, Ferentz is such a stickler for protecting the football. And so, pick one. I mean, Hecklinski probably takes more chances. Brown is more of a conservative type throwing quarterback. But here's the deal, guys. They're 4 deep at tailback, and I'm including the kid from South Dakota State who ran for 1,900 yards last year and 20 touchdowns. You're going to see a lot of a lot of 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, because they are that good and deep. Again, Vanami was the offensive MVP of the Vanderbilt Bowl game on New Year's Day. They've got Addison Astringa back now. He shredded his Achilles in week 2 at Iowa State. He's made a remarkable recovery. Now, how much he's going to play early on, I don't know. And then they've got a kid named Ortworth, from St. Louis, who will block you into the next county. The offensive line, the kid from Norfolk, I just love Cade Pieper. He's on everybody's All-America unit. He's a junior. He's probably going to be gone at the end of this year to the NFL. Trevor Lauk is a great one at left tackle. And then they've got the 3 new faces to take Logan Jones, Jennings Dunker, and Bo Stevens' place, all now playing in the NFL. Logan won the Remington Award or the Outland Trophy. I can't remember which. But the big picture is here. The offense should be able to match last year's 30-point-a-game output. Defensively is where the holes are. Special teams, they lost their All-American kicker. Their punter, all Big Ten, transferred to Michigan State. And so my major concerns are on the defensive line, where they lost 3 All-Big Ten players, and special teams. I think offense will just be fine regardless of who's at quarterback.
Gary, curiosity for me starts with the defense, because it feels like it's more reloading, more options, and it feels, at least from the national conversation and from what I can tell is the local conversation too at Iowa, is that there's a lot of excitement about maybe some new players, but that's not necessarily been the standard the past few years, where you have the returning big names, the guys who you can write in for maybe some award watch lists and guys that could be all Big Ten caliber. Are there some of those younger guys or new faces that interest you the most on that defensive side?
For sure, and they have to step up. And I keep coming back to Coach Ferentz and his staff. I mean, those guys on the defensive side. I mean, starts with Phil Parker, the defensive coordinator, Seth Wallace, who's the assistant coordinator and a head coach in waiting somewhere, the linebacker coach, and then Kelvin Bell has been the D-line coach for a lot of years, with Jay Nielsen helping out a number of areas. He's got 2 sons that either play or have played in the NFL. So their defensive coaching staff is so stable, so solid, meaning they always recruit good players. This is a unique year, though, I will tell you. Coach Ferentz has never lost this many players to either graduation or transfer, draftees, or a combination of all 3. They lost 27 players off last year's team, and most of them came from the defensive side of the football. So that's where they had to do most of the rebuilding. They brought in more. I was not a transfer school. They had to be this year. I think they brought in 30 new faces, 15 to 20 freshmen, several of which are among a dozen transfer portal grabs. Iowa's used to retaining their existing players and coaching them up and turning them from 3 stars into 4 and 5 star type players when they leave. And so that is a remarkable, unique, not used to challenge this year. Up front, where to me the biggest gap is they lost 2 of the best pass rushers in the league, and Ethan Hurrdat and Max Llewellyn. Aaron Graves at tackle was an All-American. Those 3 guys are gone. Bryce Hawthorne is the only player returning with experience. Here's one for you. Iowa is the least experienced team in college football in terms of the fewest snaps taken by what's coming back or what's stepping in this year. So that is unique when you're at a Power 4 conference. That can create some issues. But, always in the back of my head is, and this will be my 30th year of doing football, is these guys know how to recruit. And by that, I mean they always recruit to their needs. Where are the holes, and what type of athlete have we recruited in the past to fill those holes? If you recruit a great high school quarterback, that quarterback can probably play tight end or safety. He's usually a team captain. He's usually academically top shelf. They get a lot of those guys that are either low to mid 3 stars and turn them into superstars by the time they leave Iowa or when they leave Iowa. And that's the Iowa way, and I fully expect that to happen. They've really got some talent that has never played. They're linebackers. The only returning starters in the front 7 guys are Bryce Hawthorne, who was beat up most of last year, and middle linebacker Jaden Montgomery, who's a legacy player. But they've got 3 sophomore linebackers that will just knock you into next week. All 3 Iowa kids, farm kids. One from Williamsburg, one from Little Monticello High School, and the other from Jess Settle's hometown of Winfield. They're all 6'2", 6'3", 235, 240 pounds, and they can run. And so I'm not as concerned as normally I would be on defense, but they've got to find some answers in the defensive line. Iowa's always been a great team in stopping the run.
One of the biggest changes for Iowa this year, Gary, is the departure of LeVar Woods from the coaching staff. Obviously, special teams has been a huge part of what Kirk Ferentz has been able to build there in terms of their sustainable success. How big of a departure is that in your mind?
Well, it's huge. I'm not going to make lessen the loss of LeVar. He played at Iowa. He was a great player at Iowa, 5-6 years in the NFL, and this wonderful coaching career that he's in the middle of. And Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State is a lot like Ferentz. I mean, they both have very similar mannerisms in that they do things the same way. They run the football, throw it to the tight end, usually have a quarterback who's above average and has some escapability. And of course, they play great defense, and that was Fitzy when he played at Northwestern. I didn't expect our Aussie punter to follow LeVar to Michigan State. Reese Dakin, a freshman All-American, all Big Ten, but he did, and that's the world we live in today. To me, the big loss was losing Caden Weegan, who won, I think, 2 years in a row the Special Teams Player of the Year with jet speed, and the Pittsburgh Steelers certainly knew what they were doing when they drafted him. But I think Kirk Ferentz has always had this MO when it comes to young assistant coaches who aspire to be a head coach is, okay, come to Iowa, we'll teach you the Iowa way, and then go away and see how they do it elsewhere. Seth Wallace did that. A number of coaches did that under Coach Ferentz and gravitated back to Iowa City. And certainly, if and when Kirk decides to retire, this will be his 28th year. He just turned 71. He shows no signs of giving up the reins anytime soon, but his contract runs through 2029. I mean, he's got enough capital. He can leave whenever he wants, but he can stay as long as he wants as well. Beth Getz is on record as saying that. But LeVar Woods certainly would be a strong candidate to replace Coach Ferentz among those that have worked for him. And LeVar's son, who was the Iowa High School Player of the Year in some circles a year ago, is on the Iowa team. He decided to stay in Iowa City. Pat Fitzgerald's son, Ryan, is a quarterback. He walked on at Iowa and decided to stay in Iowa City. Now, will that be long term? Only time will tell. But so there's two examples of kids. They didn't want to travel with Dad. And as for LeVar's replacement, Chris Polizzi, has been in the Iowa coaching camp now for 2 going on 3 years. Chris was a grad assistant, went away, came back. He was an obvious choice for the heir apparent, and I think Chris will do a great job. It's going to take him some time.
Well, to be fair, Gary, who wants to live in East Lansing? So there's that part of it too. But
well, Tom Izzo does.
Fair, good point. Good argument.
I wish he'd move.
Gary, when it comes to both the offensive and defensive side, you can even throw Woods in there for the special teams and everything that Iowa has done so well over the years. It's just a presumed, assumption, like you had said before, that what the coaching staff will do, this team will be consistent. It always feels like the floor for Iowa is that 8-win mark that they've hit so many times. But is there a concern that there isn't that big play factor, either offensively, defensively, special teams, like you've been able to get in past years, whether it was in the return game, whether it was some game-changing defensive plays, or maybe just that one offensive playmaker who could bail you out at certain times?
Yeah, certainly there's concern, and especially this year when you lose 15 of your, 22 starters, including 2 All-Americans on special teams. Keith Duncan is now kicking, the number 1 kicker for the Washington Commanders, Keith Duncan. I'm dating myself. Drew Stevens is. We've had so many great kickers at Iowa, as Nebraska knows, that the special teams is such a staple. It starts there because if you talk to Phil Parker, or you talk to the great Norm Parker, now deceased, the back-to-back defensive coordinators who should be in some defensive Hall of Fame, they will tell you it's all about field position. It's all about turnover margin and field position. Well, if you keep pinning the opponent back inside their own 20, chances are good you're going to get a takeaway more often than not, and that's been the trap for the Iowa defense for these many years. Now they've got 7, maybe sometimes 8 starters to replace, and I am very confident they got the talent to do that. How long is it going to take? These first 3 weeks of the season, boys, are critical with Northern Illinois, Iowa State, and UNI, Northern Iowa. And, certainly 2 out of the 3, Iowa will be heavily favored. Iowa State is always a coin toss, a crapshoot. But we're going to learn a lot about this team in the first 3 weeks, and because they open up on the road in the Big Ten at Michigan and come home for Ohio State in the season opener. So, yeah, there's always concern. You can't lose Caden Weegan and not be concerned. You can't lose pass rushers like Mad Max Llewellyn and Hurrdat and a run stuffer like Graves. But great players have come, great players have left Iowa. I was watching A.J. Epinessa's younger brother the other day. He is an absolute monster, and he's going to be a defensive end. He's a 5-star. Does he have the ability? Absolutely. Has he played? No. The other defensive end is a kid from Detroit who is an assassin. His name is Merriweather. He gets in too many fights in practice and gets kicked out. I say that somewhat tongue in cheek, but that's kind of his mentality. He's looking for a fight when he's out there. So they got the kids that can play, but until you've experienced Big Ten football, till you've been hit in the nose and the jaw a few times by the Nebraskas, by the Michigans, by the Penn States. Now some of these kids have played, don't get me wrong, but some of them have not. A few of them have not. And then you have the transfer portal kids who have experience, but they haven't had it at this level. So we'll see. But I keep coming back to Ferentz and his staff who have been here since the Ark was built. I have all the confidence in the world. These guys know how to coach, and we'll have them coached up by game day.
Gary, you mentioned, earlier Kirk Ferentz, you don't see any signs of slowing down and he can stay as long as he wants. Is there something you feel like he's waiting for in terms of like accomplishments, making a college football playoff, something like that? Or is it just he still loves coaching football and wants to be out there? Like, what do you think is left out? Obviously, he has nothing left to prove really as a head football coach. Like what do you think it is that keeps him going?
Well, I don't think it. I can tell you what it is, and he's told me any number of times when we've jokingly talked about retirement. He said, and I can almost quote him. And remember, here's a guy who was a high school English teacher when he first graduated from the University of Connecticut. He coached at a prep school. He was a grad assistant at Pitt. He was a young offensive line coach, I think 24 years old when Hayden Fry saw something in him back in 1981 and hired him. And he's a future Hall of Famer. Here's his answer when he's asked about that. I don't golf. I don't play tennis. I'm a teacher. I love to coach. Spring football is his favorite time of the year. He's got 13 grandkids with one on the way. He loves his grandkids. He said, but Mary, his wife, Mary sure as hell doesn't want me home every day if I retire. That is his standard pat answer. And now you mentioned the 8-9 wins. Those are tremendous seasons at Iowa, and we're never going to take those for granted, nor will the Iowa fans. Well, there's a certain fan base that, let's get to the playoffs. And with the expanded playoffs coming around the corner, sure, Coach Ferentz would like to get to the playoffs, and Iowa would be a tough out in the college football playoffs. But right now it is what it is, and he's happy doing what he's doing. His health is good. And Beth Getz loves having him around, and so I don't see him leaving anytime soon. But there's your answer. The last comment was his wife sure as hell doesn't want him in the kitchen or laying on the couch all day, and I wouldn't either.
All right, Gary, my last question I have for you is it's a more personal question that's related to our show. So here on Hurrdat Sports Live, obviously we're based in Omaha. We're kind of more on the Nebraska Pilled side of it. But one of our new producers is an Iowa Hawkeye fan, and he publicly outed himself as a Hawkeye fan on a more Nebraska-based show. Do you have any words of encouragement for young Brandon on how he can kind of live through this tyranny that he has to suffer through every single day?
Well, Brandon's his name?
Brandon, yes.
Brandon, just look at the results of the head-to-head. Just that there's no tyranny here. Now, many of them have been close. Fred Hoiberg's a good buddy of mine. At some point, will the worm turn? Well, I hope not, but it could easily. And we enjoy the rivalry on this side of the border. When I hear from my Nebraska friends, I say, hey, excuse me. I mean, I'm sorry that we beat Nebraska in football and basketball on a regular basis for the last couple of years. They certainly have had their day against the Hawkeyes, but just look at the last decade or 15 years and enjoy it while you can, Brandon. I mean, that's honestly, that's the great thing about college sports or about sports in general is sometimes you own the diamond or the court or the football field for a few years, and eventually that will probably turn. We hope it doesn't turn to the extent that it has for the Hawkeyes, but we'll plod on and just treasure every victory is what it really comes down to. And Nebraska is good in many sports with Iowa. Wrestling has been dynamic. Women's basketball there is outstanding. Obviously, volleyball is king or queen, I should say. So there's enough glory to go around for everybody.
Yeah, Gary, I just wanted to make it clear. We're only volleyball state now, so I don't know. And I don't know that we're counting anything else anymore, so we're going to stick with volleyball, okay?
Well, that's not a bad place to start. But, Coach Rule's a very good coach. He knows what he's doing. I know Fred Hoiberg can flat out coach, and they stole Price Sanford from us. So, there's give and take, tit for tat on both sides of the border. That's what makes it fun. That's what border battles are all about.
There you go. That's Gary Dolphin, voice of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Gary, appreciate the time. As always, great stuff. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Gary.
That is Gary Dolphin, the play-by-play voice of Iowa. We didn't need that last part.
I knew how it was going to sound. I just wanted Brandon to feel included. I just want to make sure that he knew that he was appreciated here.
I was more trying to shame him into no longer being an Iowa fan. That was sort of the tact I was going to go with.
Interesting. Maybe we should have sent you back to Iowa. I should have asked Gary that instead. That might have been a better way to do that.
Do we think we could trade him with an Iowa show for a producer?
Let's see what we can do. Well, to be fair, a lot of those Iowa sports radio stations got canned, so we're gonna have to.
For a producer to be named later.
Man,
do you think we can find a?
So you want me to be unemployed? Is that what you're?
No,
we're trading you.
Oh, we're trading.
Brandon,
to like a
come
different
on.
show.
Yeah.
For a Nebraska fan that happens to be stuck in Iowa,
Yeah.
we're trying to liberate them.
Would you like that?
No,
What if
I
we
like the show.
What if we trade you to an Iowa State school? Would you like that?
Iowa State?
Yeah, you want to go run in a nice big Iowa State field? You'd
You
have a
just
lot of fun.
spit on me.
That's fine.
I feel like
They
we should,
have radio up there. There you go.
See? Shane knows he's from Des Moines.
I feel like we should trade him to a Northern Iowa school.
Oh,
a Northern Iowa station.
Perfect. Yes.
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers. That's something we can all agree on.
Big Kurt Warner guy, right?
Yes, that's right.
Sure,
you loved
yeah.
American Underdog. What a great film.
Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
Snubbed for an Oscar.
Listen, Zachary Levi and Brandon, truthfully, they're kind of the same person when I squint. Like, they do look exactly the same. They walk the same. They talk the same, all that stuff.
I thought he was trying to be Timothy Chalamet.
Brandon,
maybe.
say Shazam.
I'm not saying Shazam.
Okay.
Say do it, lady.
Maybe
Do it, lady.
maybe if you yell Shazam, you turn into a Husker fan. Who knows? Anything's possible.
Should
That'd
we
be like a villain thing?
I feel like we need to put him through fan conversion therapy where we like inundate him with Nebraska
like,
stuff.
Look at all these volleyball losses. Whoa.
I've been here for 3.5 years working here, and I still haven't switched sides yet.
Remember when DB found out you were an Iowa fan?
He was not happy with me.
Yeah, he quit immediately.
Yeah, that was
That's why he doesn't
tough.
work here anymore.
It's very tough. Thank you a lot, Brandon.
Thanks a
is
lot,
true.
Brandon. Wow.
Wow.
You're the
Don't
reason-
tweet anything after the show today.
Yeah, you're gonna have
People will get mad at you again.
You're gonna have people quitting left and right.
Brandon, I think you should cut out that Gary Dolphin thing and just pin that to your profile.
Yeah, just tweet it with no caption. Just see what kind of traction it gets.
I don't know. The last one got a lot of traction. A lot more than I thought it would. I thought it was just going to be like, in the house, a few people were going to say stuff, and then it kind
Listen,
of blew up.
As a guy who has had a tweet escape containment, be very careful about assuming that it stays in house because it usually doesn't.
Yeah. So when are you running from Sydney to Sydney?
Listen, we're getting there, piece by piece, day by day. We have time.
Brandon,
Nothing but time.
I will say the one of the important lessons I've learned on this show, and it clearly hasn't changed my behavior, but it's good to know, is it feels a lot of times like we're just talking to our friends in the room here. A lot of people listen, like a lot.
Yep.
That is very true.
Whether they like to admit it or not, they're listening.
Yeah.
They're always listening and they're always watching.
I've seen the podcast numbers. There's a lot of people that are going to hear this that you never think about, even a little bit.
Coordinator wants to know if Brandon, are you a switch hitter? That they're asking
Between Iowa schools.
Any
yes.
commentary on that?
Like Iowa State, Iowa.
Nope, just Iowa. Just
Northern Iowa.
All right.
Iowa Lakes Community College.
No,
Drake.
You could be a Drake guy.
You could be a Drake guy.
Yeah.
No,
because
not Drake.
No.
You hate dogs?
I like Big Ten football. Big Ten football's fun. Drake doesn't have Big Ten football.
They have Missouri Valley football, which is also fun.
Yeah. You don't like the FCS? You don't like kids getting opportunities?
Hater.
Interesting.
Hater. How dare you?
Every time any Iowa school loses in anything, I'm just going to start quote tweeting it and replying to you and be like, how does this make you feel?
We should tweet it at him every
Yeah,
time.
every time.
That's fine. Are we going to do a bet for the Iowa-Nebraska game?
No.
Why?
What do we need to bet for?
Are you afraid?
Yes, I've already lost a major bet. I don't need to do it again. And all I did was bet against myself. That was a dumb idea.
Yeah, you had 0 wins there.
No, I did. There was literally only suffering that I could have done.
All
from that.
risk, 0 reward.
That was tough. Don't drink high noons and tweet, kids. Don't do that.
Caleb says not an Upper Iowa guy. Wow.
Whoa.
Go Peacocks.
Come on, man. What about Northwestern Iowa?
Go Red Raiders.
From Northwestern
Jalen
Iowa.
Gramstead.
My family's from that way.
Morningside's in Iowa.
Yes.
Dort.
Sioux City.
Dort's the funniest word to say.
Dort also
Dort.
in Iowa.
You're a
My
Dort.
family
Brandon.
alumni from Dort.
Dort.
Brandon's a Dort.
Is Briarcliff, Iowa?
BV.
Sioux City.
Buena Vista.
Yeah.
Buena Vista,
Grinnell.
Iowa. Grinnell.
Whoa.
Oh, one of my all-time
Become the
favorite
biggest
colleges.
Grinnell guy. Listen, I've already got UNK. Pick your small school. All right.
You'll have to fight me on Grinnell. I've been a fan of the Grinnell system for years.
What small school are you picking?
Ooh, I don't know.
We did the video yesterday. David made us hold.
I did really well.
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed that I wasn't featured more than that because I went 10 for 10 or whatever the number was.
I missed the new Wayne State logo. I didn't.
Yeah,
get,
the old one was better. This one's a little more soft. I don't like that.
It was. I missed. I didn't get that one right.
By
That's
the way, UNK Wayne State on Thursday.
It's the only one I
Ron and
missed.
Carol Cope.
Yeah?
Yeah. Should
On
I go?
Thursday?
Should I go? Yeah,
I thought
Thursday.
it was Saturday.
No, Thursday night, 6 p.m., which actually works better for me. Should I go?
I don't know. Are you
should
going?
definitely go.
You guys going?
Yeah. You guys going?
You guys going? Who's going to host the show on Friday?
Figure it out.
We're not letting Brandon do it, obviously.
That's true. That's real. That's very
It
real.
could do numbers. It'd
Nah.
be really bad, but it wouldn't.
Nah.
Quarterback draft live from.
We can't let an Iowa. Oh yeah, we have to do the quarterback draft. Oh man,
Yeah.
tough.
You need to be here Friday. It's important.
We'll figure it out.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. What if I just get Ryan held on for the last 10 minutes of Thursday show, and I just constantly just be like, "You can say F Wayne, right?" Like,
You know how this looks, right? Ryan Held is elite. We love Ryan Held.
I just want them to put belt to ass. That's all that I want.
Wow.
That's what I want.
Just getting after it.
UNK. It's the same thing that you say about Millard North and Millard South, right? Like it's just like, oh yeah, well, like after the game, I hope everyone is successful and they're successful. So, and I hope that they're having like a great careers and all that stuff. But like UNK Wayne State Thursday night, let's go blue.
Yeah, outside of once that game is over, we can root for everybody.
Yeah.
But in that game, BTA.
So you're rooting for UNK too, is what you're saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's go.
Why not?
Go
I have no allegiances to Wayne State.
I'm gonna see if I go. I'm going to see if Coach Held will give me a UNK jersey that I'll put up.
Oh, that would be sick.
That would rock.
Yeah, we need to get
Or a helmet. Do we want a helmet or a jersey? What do you think?
Ooh, we don't have any helmets.
The Loper
Only
helmets
if
rock.
you get.
Have
Only
you
if
seen
you
the
get
new
the
one?
white helmet with the old Louis on it?
Did they play with those? I don't know if they played with those.
Is
ones.
Louis the name
I
of the
think they
Loper?
played
Yes.
once.
Let's see. Oh yeah, look at this. Like, so they've got this, like the little chrome one.
That's a quality helmet.
They have another one where it's just the antlers and it's gold.
Ooh,
it's really sick.
we
That's
should
the one
find
that I
that
want.
one.
Yeah,
We should find
that's
that
the one
one.
that I want.
I would take a helmet. I mean, obviously we'll take
Also, this
whatever.
one, how about the script Lopers?
That's very old school. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like the script Loper.
We do need a helmet, I feel like.
Okay.
We need a helmet in here. I also need
Austin,
to
will
see
they
if,
let you shoot the cannon?
Ooh, they should.
I also need to see if DB wants his stuff back.
We probably should get those. I started putting some stuff up. Put my Howells Dodge state basketball sign,
Welcome to the jungle.
and then I put my Mike Sauter hates the Jets.
He
up there.
does.
You can't really see it on camera.
He
but
does
that's
hate
fine.
the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to ask DB if he wants his stuff back.
I imagine he wants the Steelers Cup as well as the Vers stuff as well. So
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think he cares about the coaches clinic thing anymore?
I don't know. We can text him.
Should I start wearing his long sleeve?
Those are pants.
Oh, those are pants. Oh, I thought those were.
Yeah, that might be a little awkward.
You should wear the pants.
I thought it was a long sleeve. That's on me.
Put on it.
I've literally never looked at this. So
Put,
this is.
put on his football pants right now.
Also, put the.
I'm not putting his pants on. Never put another man's pants on.
And
Never,
drink out of his mug.
never put another man's pants on. That's one line. That's one rule I live life by. All right.
You should try and put the pants on.
I'm not putting the pants on.
All right.
Put the pants
Shane,
on with the
cut
North
it off.
Carolina jersey.
Shane,
Turn the show off.
Shane, hit the music. Anytime.
Shane, hit the music.
No, like for real, hit the music. No, like actually play
Shane,
the
hit
music.
the music.
For the love of God, Shane. End the show. There we go. I don't want Austin to have to sing it again.
I thought you were putting the pants on.
We were pretty clear that wasn't happening.
Wasn't gonna. No pants today. Oh,
No pants?
Austin not wearing pants. What's going on with Austin and pants?
Let's get out of here.
That's awesome.
Move on to
Robbie.
Wednesday.
We'll be back tomorrow. More Hurrdat Sports Live on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.